the first game we look for, Robbie? Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away? Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away?
What's happening, people? Hope you're doing well. Hope your families are safe. Hope you're safe, and all the things that are actually important in life are good. We've got a Monday show coming up, as always. Our Monday podcast where we're gonna dissect, discuss, and go over the weekend's results and the upcoming game against Brentford, and that'll be a good show because most of us will have had 2 days to sleep, do the media, look on socials, watch shows, and then kind of be in a different place. But there was no way I was going to bed tonight without doing some kind of show. I had to speak, right? There's things that I need to speak about tonight because if I don't, I'm going to smash up my room. I'm going to smash up the kitchen. I'm going to lose my mind, right? That's where I was at. So, Michael, Matthew, you guys all right? You good? Are you as deep in as I am, or are you? No, we're all right still. We're all right.
Honestly, still, ever since I started supporting Spurs, we've never made it through the fourth round or the fifth round, right? I've been supporting for like 5 years. Listen, I've seen us lose to Middlesbrough, to Sheffield, to Norwich at home. So honestly, like, we'll get to it. Like, another season, no trophies, right? Criticism has to be there, right? But honestly, like, going out to City, I can fucking stomach it. As much as it pains me, I can stomach it. That's and listen, in personal life, everything is Gucci, right? But listen, football requests, that's a different thing, right?
Yeah, it is. Matthew, Matthew, my man. I mean, do you know what? It's not losing. It's the way we lost. It's always the way we lose.
Yeah.
It's always the way we just disintegrate, man. Look, Matt, speak. Let me bring Dan in. Matt, just where are you at? Where are you at? How are you feeling? You know,
you all right, people?
You're right, Dan.
Yeah, I think the performance was poor. It took me back to Conte. It took me back to that's kind of that final month, 6 weeks of Conte. I actually think a few players coming back almost hindered us today. It's almost like one or two subconsciously thought, "Oh, we're okay. Romero's here, Van der Ven's here." We just didn't have that urgency on the ball. I thought off the ball we was okay. We were compact. The effort was there, but I just thought on the ball we were hesitant. And on the rare occasions where we broke, there was maybe half a dozen times where if we selected the right pass, we was in their final third and we dithered, or we just didn't have that offensive style. We just looked very lethargic, almost hesitant on the ball, which is on Tottenham like this season. We looked like a rabbit in the headlights on the ball. Off the ball, we was okay, but we were almost like Wolves. The Wolves performance on the ball, I was shouting at the screen so many times tonight to pass the ball, and this passing it out at the back, we just invited Man City onto us, and they just kept hunting us down. And the longer the game went on,
I thought we beat their press quite often. I thought our passing was actually pretty good. For me, right? Like, I'll tell you what I saw. I saw Spurs that were in second to third gear, never got into fourth or fifth gear, and City within 10 minutes were in top gear.
Yeah.
We never got out of the traps. We had moments, but we never got going. I saw a midfield that was clueless. Kulu was arse today. Hojbjerg, Skip are not at the level for this elite. They're not at this elite level.
Bentancur was poor.
Bentancur was poor, but for me, and I go back to what I said in December, and I go back to what I said in January. We need a freaking goal scorer, whether it's a wide player, a striker, a midfielder. We need someone that can score. We went and signed Timo Werner. I've got Ricky Sachs and Chris Cowling going on Sky Sports saying good signing, really happy, low risk. Tonight, he was part of the reason we lost. How is that low risk?
No, he wasn't.
He was part of the reason.
No, he wasn't.
He nothing except one through ball all night. Let me finish my thing and I'll come to you, Dan. And you can say what you want.
Okay,
you
cool.
say, right? For me, he did nothing. Kulu could have passed to him 3 or 4 times. He didn't. I don't blame Timo for that. But in the second half, Timo had chance to beat his man, take on a player. He couldn't do it. And when he did get into a foot race, he's going to have pace. Carl Walker in his 30s beat him every time. So for me, Timo Werner is not the answer for what this club needs. Brennan Johnson, I've been absolutely abused across social media for saying he's a waste of money. I don't buy this patience. He is not good enough for Spurs. And Richie, he's a header and a tap-in merchant. He's not that guy. Richie is not the guy to lead the line. He's a dead ball guy. Just put balls in the box and he might get us a couple of goals. That entire front line should not be at Spurs if we want to win silverware. And I saw it tonight. And I've had nothing but abuse for it for weeks, saying this lot aren't good enough for what we want to do. So I blame a couple of midfielders for having poor games tonight, but I think they're better than what they've shown us. In fact, I know Bentancur and Kulu are better than what I've seen tonight, especially Bentancur. But that front three has never impressed me, and I've never praised them. So, and then I'm looking at players like Udogie, Van der Ven, Romero, and Vicario having amazing games. They had absolutely top draw performances, especially Udogie and Van der Ven. They were class. But the midfield's lacking. All right, Basuma's Pape Sarr's away. Madison's just come back. You kind of get it. But there's no excuse for that front three. That front three is crap. We haven't invested in it. Instead, we bought players like Solomon, Timo, Veliz, who we don't know about, Brennan Johnson. None of them cut the levels. That's what I saw. Dan?
Quickly, Dan, before you just one thing before you say Dan, right? Because people will say that, listen, if Son was here today, nothing changes. Because we didn't
I agree.
Shit. If Son was in Werner's position, no balls reached Werner today. Maybe if it was Son, they would have passed there because it's Son, right? But okay, go on. That. Sorry, I just had to throw
maybe Son can create a little something though. By himself.
No. Son don't usually create stuff. He gets it created for him and he finishes it. Yeah, he ain't Harry Kane. Now I saw something definitely a bit different to you today. Then still, Udogie for me, bang average at best. I've seen him a lot better than that. Really? Yeah. I thought 2 good players. I thought our only 2 good players were Romero and Van der Ven. Vicario, usually top class. He screwed that up at the end. He should have had a bit more muscle and blatantly pushed the player off him, and he could have probably kicked him in the back and got away with it, as keepers get away with blood.
Until then, he was good.
He wasn't strong. That yeah, of course he was. But as a goalkeeper, that one mistake matters. Yeah, that is the thing of being a goalkeeper. He's been brilliant. I've bigged him up. I told everyone, watch this man. He's bloody good. He's been quality, but he made a mess up at the end. So you grill him for it. Oh, right. Werner, for me, I think he had a good game. Reason being, he got into position after position after position. Udogie didn't pass to him. Kulusevski didn't put the ball to him. Porro had plenty of chances where he usually sails the ball clean over to Son or whoever's on the left. He didn't do it. His passing today was awful. I thought Porro had a bang average game at best. Bentancur's passing was not up to standards. Hojbjerg just can't pass the ball anyway, so that goes without saying. Richarlison put all the effort in and was everywhere, but he got no service either. Johnson was the only one who got any service, and he was bad.
He's rubbish. He's a waste of money. He's a
Right.
He
waste
was
of money.
fucking awful.
Yeah,
But Werner
got
had a good game. He got into positions. But if he's not getting no service, and I ain't saying he's a good player, but if he ain't getting in no service, what can you expect off the man? If Richarlison ain't getting no service, what can you expect off the man? And that whole Doji was not good today by his standards. He might have had an all right game, but by his standards, I've seen him play much better than that. He got himself in quite a few bad situations that he was able to fix, so it don't look so bad.
right.
I think our only two good who were actually good on that pitch was Van der Ven and Romero. The rest of them couldn't even get the bloody ball forward.
I
We spent
get
the
that,
first
Dan.
20 minutes
I
in
get
our own
that,
half.
Dan, but I'm not having that on you, Dogie. I want
Can I
to
go
mention
next?
something. I don't know if you lot picked up on it. I did in the Man United game and tonight's game. I picked up on two things. This is why, although you guys have got a reasonable, firm grasp on handball, some people are not doing their jobs in that team, right? Which they're allocated to do, whether it's on the training field or like Stell's take on this. Against Man United, I got pulled in my group. They were saying, oh, Udogie was at fault of the goal, right? Now, it depends on who you want to blame, if you like or dislike a player, and if he's your flavour or not. In what phase of the play, when you concede a goal, right, you decide to apportion blame. Now, when Udogie got the ball caught under his feet against Man United, where was he? He was on the right-hand side of our penalty area. That is not where he should be. We have got an inverted right fullback. We've got a right centre-back. We've got a right-sided midfield player. You could even say the number 6, defensive, should be covering all areas, right? And yet Udogie's come across. In tonight's game, I was at the match, right? Udogie's then come across to the right and bailed us out again, right? The player has got he's young, he's inexperienced, he's got intelligent awareness for positional play on that field. He is a class act. He is a class act. And I thought him and Van der Ven, I'm not knocking Romero. The only thing I'll say about Romero is he does tend to dilly-dally on the ball. I'd like him to move the ball a bit more quicker.
I think they all did tonight, though.
Right?
Yeah, all of them.
Blanche said afterwards, I think he said, we were passive in the first half, which is true, and we were a bit better in the second half, which we were, and we got into threatening positions, but then the final ball in the threatening position when we thought something might happen never happened, right? It didn't happen. And it's because
we didn't even have a shot.
We lack quality in midfield. Well, no, we don't take risks in the final third. Give Poch his due. When he was at the club, it was just to encourage players to take a risk in the final third. Like, what is it with these free kicks we take, a 5-yard pass to the side? Why not hit a percentage ball? You might not win it into the area, have runners into the box.
Adrian,
Right,
take the chance.
Adrian.
Get the ball, but
Do you know who's
you might get a dodgy header come to one of your players. You might cause a bit of chaos.
Adrian, do you know
to make a
who's
chance,
who's
you got to take a chance. Sorry, one second.
Yeah.
To make a chance, to take a chance, you got to make the bloody chance. Yeah. We made nothing today, and again, Doji for me, okay, he was all right, but I have seen him play a lot better, and I can name about 4 times he could have put that ball clean up, where Werner was in the perfect place to run onto it. Yeah. And when Werner did actually get that ball put in front of him to run onto it like he did, twice that happened in the whole game. One, he screwed it right up, but I think you got to lay off it a bit, because I don't care if Carl Walker's 33, you can still outrun 9 out of 10 people in the Premiership and football full stop. So you can't really put that one on him too hard. And the other one he was the only one who actually took a man on, got it past the man and put it into the box.
But that,
all right, it was a crap through ball, but he did it.
Right, I get where you're coming
Johnson,
from.
hang on a second. Johnson had countless chances, and he was the only one who had any service there, and he was absolute crap.
Yeah, when we play passive, what you notice is a lot of the time our wide players are not being fed a ball they can run onto. They're receiving it with their back to the ball.
Yes.
And then they have to do, which they shouldn't have to do every time. This is so frustrating.
Agreed.
Because
100%.
If they've got the back to the ball, they're going to pass it back to the centre back or whatever it is. If it's if it's Udogie, if it's
because if they turn it around, the man's in front of them.
Centre back, Then it's going to go back to the goalkeeper. And suddenly you look like, suddenly we've gone promising, we look forward, we get a ball like that, and we think, oh, we can get on the move now. If he can slip the player, or not slip him, just put a sideways pass across, accurate pass, we can move and go through and try and push through the middle. It's
Every
nice
time
to get
we
a
got
move
the ball.
in the middle with
Dan, Adrian, 1 second. I
Go on.
just want to quickly get everyone a chance to speak. I want to bring in Dietrich, and then after Dietrich, a good friend of mine, Gerd, he's a gooner, but he's very balanced. He wanted to come in and weigh in on this. I actually think he might defend us a bit, believe it or not, but we'll see. He might banter us, we'll see. But Dietrich, you wanted to speak.
No, I just want to say, first of all, do you know who's the set-piece coach for this team? It's Ryan Mason. Just to tell you. That's why we always fuck it up.
Really?
And can I just say that for me, the only good player on the field was Van de Ven. I thought Romero didn't have a good game for his standards. Udogie, I'm going to say right now, he's a limited left back. I've been saying it for a long time. I know I'm going to get cussed, but I don't rate him that much. I don't rate him that much. Just let me explain. I do think he's just like... He doesn't remind me of Danny Rose like one bit. He lacks the awareness. He actually does.
Awareness for what? Awareness for what?
Awareness for like, do you know what you see the pass? Sometimes like, do you remember how many times Walker just made a run and he just let him by himself?
Yeah, but in our system, our wing backs go into the number 10 role. They don't go out wide and overlap.
No, but you should.
He plays like a number 10, and when he's defending, he actually tucks into the centre back role, and we allow that ball over the top to the corner areas because Ange doesn't mind. Our system is designed to let players go wide on us as long as we're compact in the middle, and that's why City didn't find much joy. It's designed like that.
Yeah, but
Udogie's fault is his final pass. It's his pass forward. He's got the rest, and I said to everyone at the start, watch it. By the end of the season, he's either going to be the best left back in the Premiership or he's going to be the most wanted. But getting the ball forward, when it comes to that final ball forward, like he proved today on 5 different occasions, and he has on countless others, he don't do it.
The issue I have with an inverted fullback, I was a coach, so I'd like his opinion on this. Right? The issue I have with our inverted fullbacks is when we played Brighton away and Bournemouth at home, right? We're getting overrun in midfield because teams are going to play against. They can put 4 in midfield or 5 and 4 at the back, or drop 5 back defensive when we're on the attack, right? Now, so like when they go forward, you need our inverted fullbacks to have intelligent awareness defensively, right? Because what was happening then, that Bournemouth and Brighton, to me, we only had 2 in midfield. They're easily passing through us. You ain't got to be great. You haven't got to be De Bruyne to do that, right? If you've got the numbers and the overloads, you can pass through us easily. And that's what they were doing. Then my question is about, where's our inverted fullbacks helping out the midfield? Why are we being overrun? Why?
And one last thing.
I don't know. I mean, like...
One last thing. Honestly, our forwards, I'm not even joking. I think it might be top 3 worst forwards in the league. Not even close. Top 3 worst.
I don't rate. I have nobody has had the amount of abuse I've had the last 2 weeks for calling them out.
I'm gonna say it. Johnson is a worse signing than Soldado. I'm gonna say it right now. I've seen more of Soldado than
he has not been good.
Ready player. He should be oven ready, not a work in progress.
I'm telling you, I've seen better from Soldado than Johnson has done at Spurs. I'm not even joking.
Let me get good.
Now, Dietrich, you said that day that he was bad. You said to me like 2 months ago that he was poor. You said it from day one, mate. Me and you had a chat about it. He's not good.
I want to be in that box too. I said as soon as we signed him, I said this guy won't fucking fit this system.
He has no charisma, no ability, no passing, nothing.
No charisma.
Okay, all right. We're out the cup. I'm disappointed that I went to the game, right? But at the same time, right? Please bear in mind, this is where we tend to lose it a little bit. And I agree. I didn't want Johnson before he came. I didn't like the look of the player, right? But having said that, he might yet prove us all wrong. Remember, Sonny in his first year, he wanted to leave.
It's not the same thing,
Adrian. Kane had all them loans, right? We were going to sell him on the cheap. then he came good. We had serendipity.
But no, one came from Bundesliga, the other one is a Prem Pro, and he's not good enough.
What I'm saying is, I agree. The only permutation of our front three that's worked was at Burnley.
One second, Adrian, listen, Adrian does make a fair point. He might come good. I think the majority of us, though, just don't believe.
But we can only rate him now.
Yeah.
We can only rate him by what he does now.
Let me get Gerd in. I want to get Gerd's view on it. Gerd, big up. Hope you're good, my man.
How you doing, brother? You all right?
Yeah, right.
Nice to meet you all. So will tell you, I'm a passionate gooner, but I'll keep this balanced tonight. So I watched the game with a fellow friend down the pub tonight, and I'm just looking at the stats, right? So City's possession against Tottenham was 57% to 43%. City's shots were 18, whereas Tottenham had 1. On target,
it wasn't even a shot.
Okay, but hold up. Right, shots on target were 5 to 1. So corners are 14 to 2, fouls 19 to 2. So I think that City brought a physical game to White Hart Lane. I think you missed Madsen in the middle of the park. Was it a risk to bring him on? You know, would it have been a risk to bring him on earlier in the game? Potentially, he's just come back from injury. You're missing some. That was really evident, I think.
He wouldn't have made a difference today.
I disagree with that, actually.
How would he have made a difference with no service? If he would have got, if he'd have been in the middle like Richarlison, no bloody service, no bloody through balls, no one passing forward.
Dan, Richarlison wasn't in the middle.
What's he going to do?
Richarlison wasn't in the middle. I sat there. He spent the whole game in our half. Richie did not play like a striker today, but he played like a defensive mid at times. I'm like,
he did what Harry Kane had to do, because Harry Kane used to come back because he gets no bloody service at times.
I know it.
But if he ain't getting service up the front, he's tried to get it somewhere. He at least tried it. And I can't stand Richarlison. Son wouldn't have made a difference. There was no service whatsoever.
Son can go
I think if you had Madison in the middle of the park, distributing the ball to people like Kulusevski on the wing, getting that ball into players like Son, I think you could have got a goal. Definitely.
Oh, by the way,
because you'd have had some service. Because we'd have had some forward passes.
I'm gonna say Kulu's the worst midfielder I've ever seen too.
What are you talking about? Against Man City, when it was 3-3, Kulu had an absolute
It's
banger.
one game. Today was shit.
He did it when we
plenty of good performances.
I think this is the thing, you see. I mean,
Kulu had a bad game.
We castigate players, and we're castigating the wrong players.
No, I'm not.
There are, when we start picking on Kulu, right? What you need to consider is like, who is worse in the team than he is?
Oh, he's pretty bad.
It's his only bad game as a number 10. It is the only bad game as a 10 he's had.
Yeah, but do you really trust him having a consistent good performance in a season? That's my problem with him.
No, but we had worse. He's not as bad as you're saying.
When we listen. This is Manchester City, right? They are the absolute dog's bogs. They're the best team in Europe. We know they are, okay? The thing is, all of us, or most of us, I did, because we've got this voodoo, we thought, you know what? They'll probably do better than us, but we'll beat them, because that's what always happens. But what happened on this occasion was they completely dominated us to the point of where we didn't even get a shot away. One. That's never happened. And I think I'll let you say what you want to say. For me, the difference was when we went to Man City and we drew 3-3, we got away with murder in that first half. We absolutely got away with it.
Yes, we did.
Second half, we turned it on. But we had Lo Celso, who is creative and can score on the pitch. We had Kulu out wide. And pass it forward. We had Kulu out wide, who I think is better in these games. We had Kulu in the middle, who played well, and we had Sonny on the pitch. Now, for me, I think on an attacking sense, we had a better group of players on the pitch, but we rode our luck. Tonight, the difference was this is the first time we've played Man City under Pep with no Kane or no Son up front. Like, we didn't have the clinical finisher. But you're right, we didn't provide the service.
And
we didn't
still,
create the service. I do agree with that.
And still,
what's City done today?
I agree.
I agree
City
with everything
class,
you're
man.
saying there.
City
But
class.
you also didn't have that Maddison there as well, and that he would have been important tonight.
Yes, because he would have got the ball forward. He would have got
I
the ball
agree
forward.
still. I mean, at
City played us.
It was the three quality players who've got the skills that scored the goal. You got Son Doku for pace and scored the first goal. But also got the goal on the edge of the box, didn't he? And then Becky got the other goal. It was we didn't have that quality today. We didn't have that.
Look, did anyone else see this today? City changed the way they played today, and what City done was play Spurs exactly the way we have played other teams and schooled us on our own ground, on our own style of football. They don't usually play like that. City are usually a lot slower, a lot pass it about, take their time, bang, there's the through ball and they have you, yeah? They came at us, took us to pieces and played exactly the way we usually play and schooled us on our own turf at our own game.
That was because...
Hold on.
Our defence is that good now. That's what kept us in that game. Our defence kept us in the game.
When you're playing against players like Rodri, you're playing against players like, De
Rodri, Silva, Foden. They brought on Doku. They brought on Grealish. We brought on Skip.
These players are mustard. They were up for
Skip.
They're insane last season.
If I can, right? The only circumstances when we beaten City, right, where either us completely sealed off, in our box and one through ball to Son or Kane and world class finishing, right? That's one circumstance when we defeat City, and the other one is when the game turns to a complete shit show, like it did when we played them at their ground. Because the game was chaotic as fuck. They couldn't control it. They couldn't lay their hands on the game and just chokehold us and beat us this way, right? That's why this game at the Etihad ended 3-3. I think what they did today was they were just ruthless at controlling the pace of the game. Mm-hmm. I think we played out of the back quite well in terms of from the defense to the midfield, but from midfield to forward, they completely shut us off. Every single
from the defense to the halfway line.
Yeah,
and then we didn't get out our bloody box for the first time.
Michael, didn't you notice though when it went wide, not one wide player can take on a man. They can't beat a man. And when they do get forward with pace or they get space, the crossing of the ball is utter rubbish. Other than Porro, nobody on the wide areas can cross a ball. Nobody.
I've been saying that for how long? The only other one we had who can cross the ball better than Porro is Perisic.
Yeah.
And he done it all last season from a wing back that he don't usually bloody play, and everyone slated him to the floor. When I said if he wouldn't have been injured, he would have been in that team pretty much most of the games, up on the top left, like he still plays for Croatia, and we'd get serious service from the wing from him. But again, a lot of people told me you ain't got a clue. He is the only other one who could cross the ball apart from Porro.
I thought half time I was a bit relieved at the stadium because I thought, hang about, we've come through this okay. Right? They've had so much possession, right, without too much threat. They might have had all these shots and stuff like that, but Vicario didn't have a save to make, did he? He only made one save, and then they had the goal.
They should have been 3-0 up by the end.
Adrian, Borina, Doku, and one other player missed, and they missed sitters in the last.
It was.
They missed sitters. They did miss sitters. In the second half, for a moment, my hopes were raised because I went, hang about. We rattled them in certain situations. They were being a bit sloppy, but it didn't last, and unfortunately,
when did we rattle them? The only time we rattled them is when we defended them.
No, there were patches in the second half where we had them on the back foot.
We forced errors from them, right? But when we got into threatening positions, our final ball was crap, right? We did get
threatening that the keeper didn't even have to dive once,
right? We No, we pressured them at times, but like, look, they're the world's best team. You know, what kept us in their game was our defence.
I don't care if they're the world's best team. We should have been. We had chances on that right side with Johnson a couple of times to cross the ball in. The only times we got the ball forward where someone actually run on. And it wasn't that he took no one on. It was just there was no one there that bothered covering him because they just saw him as a weak spot anyway.
Yeah, but that was the
problem when it comes to it, no service.
When we're passive, Dan, and we get the ball to a Kulusevski or a Johnson, there is no one else to give the ball to because everyone's been like sat deep.
But Werner was in perfect places about 6 or 7 times and no one bothered.
I agree. Then you've got to have some of the vision to give them that ball. Now, do you think
Porro usually has
given that ball? But I still believe that in the final third you should take a risk. Like, just hump it. If you lose it, what difference does it make? But that's just me thinking that, right? Give it a go. You know, I'm always like, put the crosses in the box. If you're worried you're going to give the ball away, it's going to affect your stats as a footballer. Well, fuck that, right? Because, like, basically you put it in. There's a chance, like, someone might, defender might make a crap header. It might falter one. You'll call a bit of chaos in the box. It might mix around a bit, and you might get a chance. You might end up in a net, or it might not. But at least you're like trying to make something happen. You know?
Do you think?
Like, Gents, can I just say? Gents, can I just say? It's hard to accept a defeat, right? You know, it was only 1-0, and City are an immense team. They had 18 shots against them. 18 shots. And they scored 1-0. I mean, you know, it wasn't hardly a trouble.
No, good. It's this. It's the fact we only had one shot in 90.
It weren't even a shot.
Yeah.
It was because Johnson ran into him.
I get that.
Like we had nothing. We offered nothing. And you know, and good. You know, because you always bant me about this. This was the biggest game of the season because this game, you lose, another year of no trophies. Another year. Top four for some Spurs fans is glory. It's all part of making more money, and that's going to bring us silverware one day. I've heard it before. For me, top four, I don't care anymore. I just don't care. But I want us to compete for silverware, and to not even lay a glove on City. It's like,
but
you know,
still,
just go through. You go through to the next round.
But still,
take it.
You were running tonight with a weakened squad. You know, you've got no Son up front. You've got no Maddison starting.
No.
But there's no excuse to not play a through ball. It's not an excuse to not get a cross in. Like,
we've played with worse teams and played better. We've played with Royale and Davis in the middle.
At their ground.
But not against City.
And Højbjerg in the middle.
City,
and we've got the ball, and we've actually got the ball forward and scored goals with them.
Yeah, but not against City.
No, we did.
City weren't even at their best today.
Davies and Royale at centre back.
Yeah, we drew 3-3 with them. But as I said, that game was a shit show. As
and
I said, the only chance to beat them is to make the game a shit show, or just like the only chance we've ever had of defeating them in the past, right? Was when we completely blocked them and, you know, low block, 20% possession, one through ball, or when you go and make the game a shit show, like we did at the Etihad. You remember the 3-2 game like 2 seasons ago or something, right? That game became a shit show at a certain point. They just couldn't control it, right? Today, they just simply listen, I'm not mad that City outclassed us. I expect them to be better, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, like, as I said, I am not mad at the defense for how they play it. I am not, in terms of like defending, right? I am not really mad at like Bentancur and Højbjerg. Højbjerg is not good enough, right? He never will be. He will leave soon, right? Bentancur, maybe a bit of a worse game, right? But still, like, he wasn't bad. My issue is the fucking front line. The front three and Kulusevski today, they were a joke today. Like Werner was the best out of the four because at least he like appeared in good positions, but nobody played him through, right? Johnson, like I swear to God, this kid can't cross, can't shoot. He backs out of tackles. He's
scared to take anybody on.
Yeah, I don't want to say it. I'm 27 and overweight. He would probably punch me up, right? But he's a pussy. let's be honest about it. Like
he doesn't even take his man on, and he's meant to be quick. If you're that quick,
exactly.
knock it past the man and sprint past him. He didn't even have the bottle to do that.
I haven't got a problem with the critique on Johnson in that respect, but I think in fairness to the player, you have to give him the ball when he's got it at his feet and he's got the chance to get the jump on the player, stand him up and go past him. If he's receiving the ball with his back to the player, that is not going to happen. And that's because we were passive. And the reason, Stoll knows, most games are won and lost in midfield. And today was basically because our midfield was crap. That's
our midfield got overrun inside.
Yeah.
Let me. Listen, I want to bring Matthew in because
we were rubbish in midfield, and that then makes the rest of the team look worse. But by the grace of God, we've got such a good back five, right? With them challenging VDV and all these last 6 challenges.
These boys were, in my opinion, well, I should put Van der Ven and Vicario in as well. But I thought the defense was. I thought they did. Without them, I think the
central defense.
I'm not going to blame the defense for us losing today. The rest of the
team, they were under pressure the whole game. Matt, let me bring Matt in. Matt, where are you at with it? You know, you've heard everyone's views, opinions, the chat.
I've been trying to think about the last time we've played well in the cup. Someone tell me the last time. Think about it. 3, 4, 5 seasons ago. When was the last time we've played well in the League Cup, Champions League, FA Cup? Someone tell me the last time.
19 when we sat Mourinho before a cup final. That's probably the last time we did well. Took it serious.
Yeah.
But that was the Carabao. It wasn't the FA Cup. The FA Cup we've been shit for years.
We've been poor in the cups. If it's not Colchester, it's not in Forest, it's Middlesbrough.
5-0 against Marine. Whatever the team was. Do you remember when Vinicius did the Mbappe celebration, scoring against Marine away or something like, that was the last time that we played well in the cup.
I've also got to say, I want to. Sorry, go on, Mario.
Let Matt finish. I'll bring you in. No, Matt, finish what you're saying.
Yeah, I thought Man City were good today. I thought they played in triangles.
They were quality, man. They were quality.
Man City played very well today. I have to give them credit.
Yeah.
And we lacked the legs in the middle of the park to shut them down and then win the ball high up the pitch. And that's where players like Sarr are so invaluable to us, because they do a lot of the work that you don't always see. It might be the next pass that we win back the ball, but Sarr's, forced that error. So we're certainly handicapped by the squad that we've got at the moment. Me and Stella have had quite a few conversations about Brennan Johnson, and I actually do rate Brennan Johnson, but there was a moment in the first half today where even I couldn't defend him. We actually, I don't know if anybody saw it, but he was one-on-one with Rodri. Somehow Rodri come out to the left. And the one thing Rodri has not got is pace.
Yeah.
No.
And I thought this is the one time, literally just kick it and run. Rodri cannot keep up with you. And he checked and come back inside. That was the
time. He does it all the time, man.
I screamed so hard that my cat got scared and ran from the room. I kid you not. My girlfriend went from the other room and started going at me for scaring the cat. Right? That's the.
So your cat is literally a pussy.
Yeah. He did what Johnson didn't, which was wrong, right?
I'm gonna say this because I can't stay too long, so I'll just say this: is 2 important things that we need to look forward to. I would say a valiant effort by the guys. I mean, in regards to playing for the draw, because I thought that's the only way that we could get anything positive, really, to get the draw, so we could have Sonny, Sarr, Basuma. I mean, later on. I mean, that's literally because that one shot, I knew that was going to probably be our only shot, and City was amazing. But the 2 important things I just wanted to leave you with, and this is all in contrast to what happened with Liverpool, And I say these are the two important things I would say is this is the most important time in Daniel Levy and Enoch's era of owning Tottenham. And I say this why this is so important, because now you have Liverpool, as great as Klopp is, that now it's not that easy to replicate. So they're going to step back. And you have a pool of teams now. Chelsea, Arsenal. Because Arsenal's still within that pool. But they're trying to go above. And now Liverpool has been dragged back. And we're in that pool. And you even put Newcastle in there. Who is now going to challenge Man City? Especially knowing what looms ahead.
Yeah, but Mari, didn't we say this under Poch and under Jose and under Conte?
Now's
the time. This is important.
Let me finish. But then again, Klopp and Pep came in. I say this, that this is a very important time, like this point in time, and now the fan base, right, is gonna have to be like, yo, we cannot give any excuses, because right now it's City, and right now in the next coming years, is Pep going to coach the Spain national team? Is FFP going to really, like, this is the time now. If there was ever a time for Daniel Levy to say, oh my goodness, this is the time that we could be the team to challenge City, because Liverpool's about to step back after this season. Like, this is the time where there's no excuses. And this is the time where the fan base has to put pressure on this board. Because here's the thing, right? If we qualify for top 4, and you saw how the team that we have today, do we have the team going into next season that's going to play Europe, FA Cup, and Carabao Cup? Let alone those 2 domestic cups we have to take seriously. I'm sick and fucking tired of looking at Bleacher Report, ESPN, put cobwebs on Spurs trophy mantle. I'm sick of it. Let's start with 1. Klopp started with 1. Pep even started with 1. Let's start with 1. Let's win the League Cup next year.
Yeah.
Let's go for it. Let's go for the FA Cup, right? Let's have a team that we can rotate, so we don't have to cry and say, oh, we don't have Sonny. We don't have this person. We don't have that person. That's why I said this is the point in time right now as our club to look around and say, look, Liverpool is coming back to the pack. We're
Murray, you're right. If Man City and Liverpool have a dip over the next 2 years because of managerial changes, then it opens the door to Man United if they can get their act together. Arsenal, who have almost got their rebuild complete. Spurs, who are in a rebuild. Newcastle. It opens it up if those 2 clubs take that dip. And you know what? That's exactly when Leicester struck, when all the other clubs took that dip. They
exactly.
But look, I'm going to play devil's advocate here, yeah? What has Levy done wrong? Since we got Ange, what has Levy done wrong? Tell me, what has Levy done wrong? Every player we have bought is who Ange wanted. If that is not true, then our manager is a liar. He stated, no one will enter this team if I don't.
Manor Solomon?
Dan,
Johnson?
You know I'm only saying what our manager said.
No, you're right. You're right, Dan. Dan, you're right. You're only saying what the manager says. And if we believe him, that's scary, because, man, I don't rate Johnson. I'm sorry. I'm harsh. I don't rate Solomon.
Maury, I agree. There are opportunities. This is the most important time, because he was cheap, right?
I've been thinking all day. I've been thinking all day before this game tonight, and I'm like, oh my goodness, Spurs are in a position, really in a position, because now Liverpool's scaling back. Van Dijk is going to go, Salah's going to go. You just have City left, And Pep has not even signed a new contract. After next year, he's not there at City. And I'm thinking like this is the time. Arsenal has to be licking their chops. Newcastle has to be licking their chops. United, as bad as they are, they're like, you know what? If we get our shit together this off season, we can be in position. And now this is the time, more than ever, for Daniel Levy and this board to be like, yo, we need to get quality. We need to back this club and get this club into prominence. To be in 3 or 4 year prominence.
Mario,
this is my prayer for
Mario,
this club.
no, can I just say?
This is the time.
Can I just say?
This is the time.
No,
if we want to qualify for Champions League next year, we're going to have to have a deeper team.
Mario,
But you don't do that in two transfer windows, do you?
I don't read.
And everybody is bought is who Ange has said he personally.
Yeah, but it's been 23 years of transfer windows.
Okay,
Ange
but
is just another project.
Yeah, but we can only go on what's happening now. Yeah.
If
you actually look at it, the players we've got in, Udogie, Van der Ven, Romero, Porro's actually working out. In the middle, up front, Johnson,
Romero and Udogie aren't Ange's signings.
No, but they're signings we've bought in recently. Yeah, the season before.
Yeah, but they're not Ange's players, right?
Okay, then if you want to go to Ange's players, then everyone we have got, like Van der Ven, Johnson, Werner, Solomon, they're all his pick, so he claims. Okay, then our manager's a liar. Then our manager is a liar to the fans.
Yes. Yeah, no. I'll tell you what's going on here.
Then we need a manager with a pair of bollocks.
We did. It was Conte, and everyone turned against him. He's the only one that called him out. Conte called them all out, and everyone wanted him out. Conte's the only one. Love his tactics. Adrian, 1 minute. And 1 minute. Adrian, hold on. Right. For me, I'll tell you what I think is going on. It's just my view. Right. I try and read between the lines. Ange is someone that will not rock the boat. He will play the board. He will play the fans, and he will try and keep harmony. Because in his head, the way he's been schooled is harmony is my best chance of success. If I rock it, if I go in with grenades, if I go in there with this tough guy shit, it don't work. My success has come from harmony. So he will say things to keep the peace so the board look good. And for the fans say, do you know what? He never throws players under the bus. He never complains about not having his players out injured. Everyone praises him for always keeping that harmony. And for me, if you said to Ange Postecoglou, there's £30 million, go and buy a winger, he ain't fucking bringing in Solomon or Timo. Not in a million years. What's happened is, this is the budget. It's not very big. The best we can get is Timo. Do you want that or nothing? And he's thinking, if I say nothing, I'm stuck with Brian Hill. Yeah, I want Timo. And with Brennan Johnson, the club were looking at him, because I know people in the club, because I go to the academy every 3-4 months a year. They were looking at Brennan Johnson, the club, 2 years ago. So I think that there are signings that he wanted. I think there are signings that the club looked at and said, yeah, I'm excited by that. But I also think there's a couple of signings he's accepted because he needs the bodies and he's trying to keep the club a little bit happy. So I think there's a mixture. And I think that happens at most clubs, to be fair. But he's never going to come out and say what Conte did. Jed Spence is a club signing. Right. They wanted him. It's their investment. He ain't ever going to do that.
Right. But then he should never have come on air and stated the one thing he did not have to state. He could have just agreed with everything, kept it all cushy and all sweet, all silver. He did not have to state on national TV, everyone we bring in is my pick.
He was asked the question. He was asked that question.
Well, Dan,
he said
also,
he didn't have to accept it then.
But they're also the opportunity.
You're right. He didn't have to say that, but I think he's trying to keep the board on board.
Like
I can understand.
Virtually free, right, and all that. And bear this in mind as well, right? Because of Spurs' unique position they're in, right? We can spend something like 275 million on players without
400.
No, it's less than that now. It's less than that. We spent some money, right? So
rather
than the profit sustainability rules or FFP, financial fair play, right? We could spend that amount of money. So what effect has that on the transfer market, which is in a period of deflation, because no one's spending money, right? The effect is that now agents are coming to Spurs trying to hawk their players where normally they'd gone to like a Man City or a Chelsea and all that, who spend hundreds of millions on players and not think about it, because they know if they want to get a fee and get rid of a player, they're going to have to come to Tottenham, because Tottenham have got the money to do that. Now, it's a question of whether Tottenham are unique. We can say, well, no, we're not really interested in your player, right, or whatever. But Spurs are in a very unique position now to kick on in the summer, right? We'll get Nusa, right? He looks good. What I've seen on the video, I've seen him, but we'll see. He's only a kid, right? But we're in Spurs are in a very good position. Klopp saying he's going to leave Liverpool. That can have two effects on the players there, or our rivals. One, they can take their foot off the gas because the manager's going. Or two, they can say we're going to give her all because it's his last season, right?
That's what they're doing.
Pep next year, autumn, right? Man City face the 115 charges, right? Which they got off with Europe before. They're not getting off with this, so they're probably going to take a kick. I'm willing. I'll put a large sum of money on the fact that like they're going to get relegated, and it might be Division 2, right? So they'll then be out of the equation. They'll piss them.
I believe it when I see it.
It'll take a couple of years for them to come back, right? Whether they're giving their titles a strip from, who cares, right? I don't care about that, right? So, like, Spurs are in a very unique position now, and the whole ball game is shifted. Chelsea have pleaded guilty to their financial fair play over recruiting players, going back to Willian and all that, right? Offshore companies putting money in their club and all that shit. We know that Abramovich was a crook anyway, right? Oligarch and all that. So, like, they're going to take a beating. So now, Spurs and our biggest rivals, Arsenal, are going to be
in a good position.
Are going to be to get players. Spurs are a very attractive opportunity.
Can I ask a devil's advocate question, right? And I don't believe it before, like, everyone kills me on this panel, right? But we had content. He, as Stelio said, he pointed out the board. He, pointed out the mistakes in transfer, etc., right? And we kind of had the same thing with Mourinho, with throwing players under the bus and all that shit, right? And both those things went downhill really quickly, right? So with Ange, with the way Stelios described him as, like, keeping the harmony, keeping everyone, like, calm and all that stuff, right? Can an argument be made that this is actually, like, better for the type of club that we are? I know it's not ambitious. I know this, like, won't lead
it's
to
better
us
for the type of chairman we've got.
Yeah. But it was just a weird thought that came to my mind, right? Maybe we should give this type of a manager a chance, right? We didn't really have that type of a manager since Pochettino, right? Pochettino was the last one who wasn't really, like, barking up the tree and, pointing out board's mistakes and such, right? And it kind of went well. I know we didn't win anything, right, before everyone kills me, right? But maybe we should kind of do the same with Ange. It's just a question, right? I don't necessarily believe he should be agreeing to everything, right? And, yeah, that's just my thought, right? What's your thoughts on that?
Right. My only issue with that is I think Ange is a great manager, and with what Adrian's just said, I think he's 100% right. Because one thing we have proved, and like I've said it for a long time, that stadium is money, money, money. Yeah. We are now at a point where we will see within the next 2 years of how much of how much we are willing to take this to the next point. Yeah. But Ange should not have stated on national TV, these players are all my choice. Yeah. This is only so far. You watch what extra money we make when we start bringing more stuff to the grounds. You look what extra money we make. We are probably one of the only clubs in Europe that can support ourselves purely through the stadium without having to sell players. We didn't have to sell Harry Kane to make money. We didn't have to sell other players to make money. We generate our own money more than basically any other club in England.
Wait, hold on.
Just through that stadium.
Yeah, I said
Yeah, but
now, hang on. We have
also
now got the perfect chance.
We also have to amortize like $1 billion debt.
No, it's not even $1 billion debt anymore. From what I read, we're about 600 million, and
we
we haven't even sold.
The debt is spread over 30 years, so it's not.
Yeah,
okay.
and the other thing is, we haven't even sold the rights to the name of the stadium, and that's going to be another 200 million in there.
I think it was £41 million interest. Let that sink in. £41 million interest.
No,
if
it's
we
down
had
to
a new
25
owner
now.
of the stadium, and we didn't have to pay that. That £41 million.
He redone the loan, didn't he?
Player or two, isn't it? It's a new player or two if they're kids. You know,
he's renegotiated.
You watch how much money this stadium now brings in when we get this go-kart track and everything else. You're right on what you said. We are in the perfect place now because we don't need to do what Chelsea do and sell players. We don't need to do. Yeah, we don't need to do what Arsenal do, and that was try and sell players, which they failed on. But they've basically spent themselves under the book now, where they can't do nothing. We can. Question is, will we do it?
Yeah.
I think so far, Ange has been backed. So far, he has been backed.
Yeah, but
what
Arsenal,
we get next season
could drop £100 million on one player. We can't do that.
But they won't do that.
Yes, we can. It's not that we can't do it. It's more the question of will we do it. We could do that easy.
I think them getting Champions League allowed them to do that. Like we was
in Champions League the season before. They weren't.
Right.
Yeah, true. That's fair enough.
So the income we had with the stadium and Champions League
go for 3 years mean that any football club can lose £105 million over 3 years. Then
and what was the money on the 3 years before then?
Jane, I'm not arguing with your point of argument. What I'm saying is I'm backing up in a way, right? So basically, if you're a club that can generate more revenue, right? Now, this doesn't count on Women's Super League, training grounds, building stadiums. That is not included in the FFP. You can spend as much as you like on that. What it is on your income and expenditure, on your players' wages, buying players, and your accounts on that with said players in your squad. That's where it counts, not on other aspects of the club. It doesn't come into it at all, right? So, but what it does, it restricts their Newcastle must be biting their lips. They're the richest club in the world. They're owned by Arabs that are owned fucking hundreds of billions, right?
But they can't spend it because they don't make the money.
No, because they'll break FFP rules. Because
what else have we done, Adrian?
All having all that money in the bank, you could have like 300 billion in a bank, but if your revenue and expenditure accounts,
all right,
warrant you the privilege of spending that money.
Boys, we're talking about FFP. We're talking about money, right? But who cares when I'm seeing Timo Werner come in on a free when we're crying out for a goal scorer or a creative? I don't care if we're top of FFP or middle. Timo Werner was a freebie. Dragusin is on the bench. We spent 30 million for him to sit on the bench when we're crying out for something.
What we was crying out for still was another defender, and he went and got it
right back.
Hold on. Can I came on and I haven't just said anything. So I mentioned this like yesterday when I was on stream. But before we, pat, Levy and Enoch and, them being, self-sufficient and, the way that they generate revenue on the back too much. Okay. So we are bringing in the 8th most revenue of any club, right? The 8th most from commercial revenue. And that includes things like, the F1 thing and all that stuff. Okay. So no, I'm not done yet. So we're the 8th most, bringing in the most revenue there. We're like the 7th highest revenue in broadcasting rights. Mm-hmm. And then we're the 4th most for match day revenue. So what is that? What does that mean? That means that by ratio, okay, our club is getting overcharging our fans ticket prices and just hold on, Dan. So overcharging for our ticket prices and our concessions and all of that stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
So if we actually invested in trying to buy players, get trophies, all of that, then our broadcasting rights would go up. The revenue from our broadcasting rights would go up. Right now, right now, and commercial rights as well, because we would just be more well known around the world. So right now, he is feeding the club through our fans overpaying, and that's how he's fueling the club. Not because, oh my gosh, he's making like, you know, he is making great commercial deals, but it's not, he is feeding the club by squeezing money out of the fans.
No, you got it totally wrong. Go back 3 years on the past money income. We had the third biggest income in sport, not football, sport. That you don't get just through milking the fans. Yes, he milks the fans and he proper tears us a new one that we all walk like John Wayne at the end of the day, yeah? But the income, and that was before the income of the stadium, yeah? So what you've just said there is true, but pretty much irrelevant to the point that that's the only way we make money.
I didn't say it was the only way, but I said that if he
but it's not the main way we make the money. It's not the main way we do it.
In relation to other clubs. No, in relation to other clubs that are bringing in the most revenue, we are we're not balanced. We're not balanced in how much commercial revenue we're bringing in versus how much we're making from match day revenue versus how much broadcasting rights. We can say, oh my gosh, we're making money and we're so well run and all this different stuff. But the clubs that we are comparing ourselves to, they are making money off of broadcasting rights and commercial revenue more than they are charging their fans in relation to us.
Yeah, because most of them can't charge that sort of money. Man City can't charge that. Look, I'll be straight, yeah. Newcastle are not going to make serious money. Why? Because they're up north. Same as Man City. The only reason Man U and Liverpool do is because they've been so big over the years. Everybody knows up north is a poorer end. You cannot charge the same money that you do in London. Yeah. True. So we're gonna do that anyway, yeah. But with the other income we've got, with the NFL deals, with the F1 deals, and like I said, we had the third biggest income in sport. If he puts this together now, which he can, because we haven't even sold stadium rights yet, and we've only sold one player that was like actually heavy money, basically, apart from if you go back with Carl Walker for 50 mil. I'm agreeing with Adrian and making him 100% right. We can pretty much take this to the cleaners. And I think he has started actually showing that he's going to be willing to back Ange. Whether it comes or goes, we shall see. But our income is not just based on rinsing the fans.
Please,
there's the income breakdown.
When they bring these leagues up of richest clubs, because most of it is total BS. And the reason it's BS is, although Barcelona, although Real Madrid have got this fantastic worldwide support that's bigger than our club, right? They are broke. They are broke.
No, they're not.
Now, Michael, yes, they are. And I'm going to
wait until Real Madrid's new stadium kicks in, mate.
He's not. He's talking about Barcelona, not Real Madrid.
Now, what Barcelona have had to do, and Real Madrid have had to do. Real Madrid now are really investing in youth, right? What happened was recently, Barcelona. Hold on, let me finish. Let me finish. Barcelona had told a meeting for their fans, where they virtually forced them, bludgeoned them into the fact that they would sell off a proportion of their TV rights, which are different to the UK because our Premier League TV rights are shared out amongst the Premier League clubs, whereas in Spain, the bigger clubs get the bigger share of the money, right? Now, Barcelona have had to sell off part of their TV rights to finance their debt. They've also had to sell off part of their merchanting rights, right, to finance part of their debt. They've done it as well. How do you think those clubs have been able to afford to pay players 500 grand a week, the Messis and all that, right? It's not sustainable. What's great now, what is really good about profit sustainable rules and FFP, financial fair play, is the fact that it will make clubs sustainable. It will stop dodgy owners from making their clubs go bust. It will make sure that the transfer market goes through a period of deflation where you don't get these £100 million. You might get the rare £100 million player sale, right? It will stop that, and it will stabilise wages, which I think is good for the game. But it's only my opinion. Others might differ with me, right? Now, Spurs, with their revenue streams, there are a few companies that are Lily White's out, but the main two companies in Spurs are Tottenham Hotspur Limited and the original company, which are Tottenham Hotspur Atletico Football Company Limited, a bit long-winded. Now, Tottenham Hotspur Football Atletico Company Limited, the long-winded one, they hold the players' registrations and they take in the advertising revenue and all that, which is much more than a stadium takes. The stadium takes about 105 million a year, right? And earns about $1 million a day, $1 million a game, and food, pies, and all that shit.
That's just in football. That's only in the football side.
Yeah, that's 105 million. But this year we earned over 500 million.
Yeah, but Adrian, does it matter when you can't have a shot on goal in a cup game? What does it matter when your team can't get a shot on goal in a cup game? Like,
well, we did.
I'm all for one shot.
Did we? He run into the keeper.
I'm just saying, like,
no, I'm not arguing with you on that fact. What I'm saying is, like,
every show we do,
we are now generating. What we're doing is generating legitimate revenue, whereby you know,
look at us. We're out of the cups.
No, whereby you're allowed 60 or 70% of that revenue, right? You can use when you want to go out and buy players. So the more money you can generate, the more money you're allowed under FFP or profit sustainable rules to spend on players. Now, I like these rules. I just wish they would, and I'd love a government regulator of football. I really would love one, right? To stop all these dodgy owners, right, from sending their clubs bankrupt like Paul Berry and all that in the past.
Guys, Stoke, can I say something?
Yeah, go for it.
I think, I think one of the things that frustrates a lot of us about Spurs is no matter what the bank balance looks like, and no matter, the fact that Levy has well positioned our team financially with the go-karting and with all the extracurriculars and stuff happening at the activity, happening at the club, all the different activity. The fact is this: I always compare us to Liverpool when they were like in the Brendan Rodgers era and they were coming in second and maybe making a Champions League every once in a while, but never threatening anything. And then they got in Klopp and they got in Van Dijk and they got in Allison and they got in Fenway Sports Group and they put the football team, as they always do, first. Everything was about Liverpool winning, and they fucking won everything. Yep. And with Tottenham, you always feel like, yes, I'm sure they will have opportunities to spend the money better than Newcastle, or we'll be able to out-position ourselves relative to Chelsea. It won't matter. The fact is that while these owners are here, I can't prove this. I don't have a time machine, but you always get the feeling that Tottenham run itself as a solid business first, football club second, and everyone says, well, that's good because then we won't go under. But no, it's not good, because the way that they do it is we don't feel like a football club. We feel like a well-run, multi-pronged business that has a decently profitable overall structure and blah 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 blah. Never getting in these heavy hitters to say, look, we need this player, that player, go out and get them. We have the money, let's win this thing. We never feel like we always come up to the pond and we never dive into it. We always just look at it and say, yeah, we could go in. We're the best position to go in. We have a nice bathing suit and we're ready. We have a towel right here. And if we want to, we can really go in that pond if we want to. Well, this other team just look at us and just go, whatever, and dive in the pond. Chelsea, Liverpool, and
Wenger did that for about 6 years under Arsenal. The problem with Tottenham is that you have spent the money. You spent about 446 million over the past 5 years. I'm not talking about the players that you sold, but what you've bought. But the issue is you keep changing your managers under Levy. There's no consistency.
I would argue we're diving into the pool. I would argue we're trying to dive into the pool now.
That comes back to my question. the long, like the devil's advocate question, right? Is it a good thing to have a guy that won't stir up shit so we won't have to fire him like we did with Conte? Maybe, just maybe, we should stick with Ange. And listen, I'm not saying Ange will bring us trophies or anything, right? We don't know yet. It's just half.
Ange isn't the problem. Ange is not.
I'm not blaming Ange.
I think Ange is better than Conte.
I love Ange. Ange is not the problem.
I'm not saying he's the problem. I'm saying that he's.
I know, Michael. I'm sorry. I just want to get that out there. Sorry, and I'm not saying you're saying.
I don't know. He's better than Conte, as all he does is play better football. You cannot make that statement. Not at all. Conte has done basically everything.
Conte ain't won anything.
What do you mean Conte ain't won anything? No one's won anything at Spurs.
Yeah, but good.
No one's won anything at Spurs. But the statement saying Ange is a better manager than Conte, no.
Well, yeah, but I don't. Let me back that up, right? Because for me, Postecoglou has a feel about him like Pochettino. He's growing it. He's got a grassroots kind of attitude where he's growing it. He's looking at the structure of the team. He's building it gradually. You guys were top of the league under.
Yeah, but he won nothing, good. You lot laughed.
But hold on. This is his first season in charge, and he's been top of the league for quite some time. I actually think, and I'm a
brilliant.
I'm a passionate Arsenal fan, and begrudgingly, I will say, if you keep this first team fit, Maddison, Son, even without Kane, I actually think if you'd have kept this first team, I know you haven't got the depth, right? But blah blah blah. But if you kept this first team fit, you'd win the league. You're that good enough.
But your blah 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 is it, with all due respect, is exactly the point. The blah 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 is what we don't do. We don't. It's almost like Levy is scared of making that final step of saying, we are a football club that is going to win the goddamn league, and I'm going to do anything I can to make that happen. He can do it now, and I feel like he's like scared of that final leap, of that final commitment to like, let's do what FSG did: get in Klopp, get in Van Dijk, get in Allison, and go for it. It's
he backed Conte. He spent about 200 million on the
No,
he didn't back Conte.
The problem has been we didn't have a football philosophy, and we didn't bring the players in to like build on a philosophy. And look, we're not alone in that. When we talk about Liverpool in the past, they brought in Mourinho, they brought in Lovren, they brought in Karius, the goalkeeper. Didn't work. Man United spent hundreds of millions on players. Like what? Why are you bringing them in? What are they to do? Where are they supposed to fit in this jigsaw that we've got at this club? Look at Everton. They've spent £500 million to get absolutely nowhere, right? So why is that? Where is the system? Where is the philosophy behind this?
Let's have it right. Let's have it right.
Spurs is this Ange Ball, right? Fine, I love it, right?
Yeah.
So basically, Ange Ball should be for all the teams in the academy up to the first team, right? And also, should Ange ever leave in the future and it proves to be a success, Ange Ball, then any new manager that's brought in this club that is interviewed to take over will be told, like, look, we like you, you play an attacking style of football, but this is the football philosophy of this club.
That's in place. And that's it.
It's in place. If you're coming to take over this club, Spurs, right, we expect you to play this way.
But that means nothing. It means nothing if we bring in Timo Werners and we bring in Solomons and we bring in Brennans. It means nothing. Like, look, Ange. Well, I love Ange, but he's had it a bit good. Okay, Conte, who I rated, and listen, hate me for it.
I didn't. So still, I didn't. So.
He's a world-class manager.
A lot of people didn't like him, but he asked for a centre back. Quality, and we gave him Clement Longap on a loan. He asked for a goalkeeper. Exactly. He got Fraser Forrester. Ange gets Vicario and Van der Ven.
It's different.
When you look at the caliber of players that are coming under Conte, and you look at the quality under Ange. For me, Ange is being given the best players I've seen a manager get in a long, long time. The problem is. Agreed. That, as always, when we get to that final piece, right? Let's let's make this happen now. Solomon comes in, Timo comes in, Brennan comes in, Veliz comes in. It's like, who the fuck is? Like, who are you? Like, bring in some talent. And this is where it goes wrong. We can have the most money, the best profits, the best FFP, the best plan, the best recruitment. We can have it all down to a T. If we don't, and I had it out with so many fans, if we don't start bringing in those 2 or 3 superstars, nothing changes at this club, because we're up against the Rodris, the De Bruynes, the Haalands. We're up against the Mohamed Salahs. We're up against the Virgil van Dijk. Even Arsenal, they tried it. Declan Rice, right? They should have done more. They like Gerd would admit Havertz was a mistake. I think most Arsenal fans would admit it.
Massive mistake. Yeah.
But you were almost there. Then you kind of did you did a bit of a Spurs. The competition is so hard now. If you don't go and do that kind of magical signing, like Liverpool when they bought Van Dijk and Alisson, and even a Jack Grealish, City even spent 100 million on him. He helped them win the treble at the end of the day. If we don't do that, for me, we're not winning anything. I just don't see it at this club. This
I disagree, man.
But get us so far. It'll get us close, but it won't get us over the line.
Still, your first team kept you top of the league for what?
But it's a squad game, Gerd. It's a squad game.
No, totally.
And that's Europe, and that's no European football either. Next year we got Europe.
So this is the first year. This is the first year of a process that we're building a team. I'm in the same page as you. Is Levy out no matter what, but you have to also be understanding of the fact that we've just finished building a starting 11. Now we finished building a good starting 11.
We don't have a starting 11, Dan. We don't have a starting 11 that's good.
I would argue
the wingers are crap.
Oh, so Son is crap now. Kulusevski's crap now.
Son is our striker. He's our top goal scorer in the club.
I'd say Son plays left wing. Our best starting 11, Son's on the left wing, and Richarlison's at the 9.
Richie's not good enough, number 11, to lead it.
Richie's not good enough. Son is better.
We can have that argument on another day, but listen to my argument.
No, Dan. He cannot lead the line for a title, child.
Listen, still, this is not my point. But if you want to have that argument on Richarlison, if he's good enough for the starting 11, we can.
That is your point. You said we've got.
Let him finish the point.
I'm talking on the squad depth. When I'm talking about the squad depth, I'm talking about serial positions like centre back, and when we need full backs to be backing up Destiny, Udogie, and Poro. If one of them get an injury, we're screwed. Midfield, we need depth. That's what we need to start building now. That's what we need to start building now. We've already built starting 11. In my opinion, that's good enough to to win titles. What we need to do now is build a backbone to that starting 11. And that's where it's going to make or break to see what happens. When you're talking about it's a squad game. That's what we're going to do now.
No, I need to call you out on this. This is why we don't win anything. How is our starting 11 good enough to win a league? The starting 11.
Stellis, I think we, from the 11 players, starting 11, I think we have 7 or 8 positions filled, in my opinion, with actual quality players, right? And to back Gert's point and to back your point, right? Right now, what we need to do is go into the summer and slap a fucking striker in this team that actually scores goals.
Does Richarlison not score goals?
6 of them
in
20 matches.
Tonight? Where was he against
Where was he tonight?
Oh my god!
Where was he against Brighton? Where was he against Brighton?
How many chances were created for him?
He's good.
He went a season and scored 2 bloody goals, for God's sake.
He was injured.
Okay, he's had 6 good games.
He came back from the World Cup injured.
Look, D-Mizzy. D-Mizzy, hold on. No. He's on form. I'll give you that, okay? He is on form, and he has been scoring.
No. This is not on form. This is not on form.
No.
Yes, this is on form.
No, listen.
This is Richarlison form.
Let the American chick too.
How many goals has he scored with his feet?
Loads. Have you not seen him this season? Come on.
Dan, you're deluded.
Has been with his head.
Too accepting,
he cannot score with his feet. You cannot have a striker that cannot score with his feet.
Too accepting.
You cannot have a striker that
can score with his feet if you create chances.
You know who else scores goals with their head? Usually defenders. Defenders score goals with their head. You cannot have a striker who cannot score goals with their feet, and that is what he is.
Listen,
He's had 2 seasons. He's only had 2 seasons in the Prem that he has ever gotten more than 10 goals.
Dan, okay.
In all comps.
Listen, Dan, Cube. Listen.
And it was like barely. It was 13 was one of them, and like 11 was another.
Let's look at this season. Every time that a big chance is created for him, he's always like what I've seen from him this season. He's been very good with putting the ball in the back of the net. But of course,
except
you go by his ratio. 9 times out of 10, he puts it across the goal or misses an open bloody goal.
His build-up play is a little bit short of world class.
Did you watch him against Luton Town? Did you watch him against Luton Town?
Did you watch him play last season? And most
he was going through a rut. He was going through a rut of bad confidence, and a losing game. Plus,
if it's not a tap in from 6 yards or a header, he don't score.
Okay, so
how many goals does he have this season? 7, right?
Around
7. In the league, it's 7, right? How many of them did he score? First 16 games of the season. 1.
But that's because he had his groin injury.
Listen.
And so what was it last season that he had then, all last season?
Bro. From an Arsenal fan, Richarlison is shit.
No. Well, he's got more goals. He's got more goals than your combined 11. He's got more goals than your whole attack combined. So I don't know.
Mate, he's had 7 good games out of how many has he played for Spurs? What, 55 now? 50? And he's had 7 good games. Mate, you're too accepting. This is why Tottenham are fucked, mate. Because people are happy with Richarlison up front. This is why Tottenham are up shit street.
So hold on.
Because people are willing to give Eric Dyer another chance until we got rid of him. Because people are saying Brian Johnson will come good. And we go and buy players like that.
Yes, they don't want to.
Unless we go out and buy players that can do it, Richarlison only gets in the Brazilian team because they're absolute crap. And their best chance of a striker up front, apart from him, is Jesus, who is a crap striker, but a brilliant false 9. That is the only thing. Accept it. Richarlison is shit. He's bang average at best. Okay. For me, he's not even good enough for Brighton's bloody team.
Okay, hold on. He missed 7 goals. Hold on. He had 7 goals. You're saying he had 7 goals this season, right? Okay. That's what you say. 7 goals this season. So I don't have it for the 7th goal, okay? But for his 6 goals this season, he scored 5 headers. 1 goal with his left foot. You cannot have a striker who cannot score with his feet.
He is the tapping merchant.
But that's a good point.
That's not true. That's not true.
Mate. He's a Brazilian Duncan Ferguson.
He scored 2 alone against West Ham. Oh, no, West Ham. He scored 2 alone with his foot against Newcastle. What are you on about?
Yeah, and how close to the bloody goal were they? How many open goals? Look what he did against Man U. He had the perfect shot and he bloody stuffed it twice.
We can argue about tap-ins and all day, but you can't just come on here and lie. You're saying that he's only got 1 goal with his foot. He scored 2 alone against Newcastle.
Okay, Dan. Okay, sorry, it's not 1. It's 2.
No, in one game. In one game.
You know what?
In one game
was 2 goals. So you're saying that 1 game, okay? That he scored with his feet 2 goals, and he has 7 goals. Okay,
he's more. I'm talking about
7 goals. 7 goals.
Dan. If you look at any team that wins the Premier League, they've got a Mohamed Salah, they've got a Jamie Vardy, they've got a Thierry Henry, an Aguero. No, listen, a Haaland. A Haaland. We cannot put Richarlison as the striker of the team. No, you put Son out wide.
Yeah, but most...
I never said Richarlison was shit. Dan, hear me out. I never said Richarlison was shit. My argument is you cannot have him lead the line and tell me we're going to win a league. I'm not hearing that. You said the starting 11 could win the league and you put Richarlison
It won't happen.
No way.
That's
not what I said.
I just want to give you a reality check, people, right? Because I researched this, right? Like I do a lot of research on the team, right? Since the inauguration of the Premier League in 1992, on average, the team that wins the league scores 82 goals, right? Now, things have changed recently. In the last 10 years with Man City, the team that has won the league has scored 87 goals, right? Just think on that just for a second, right? 87 goals, right? Now, if you take a front three, if Sonny under handball, I'd expect him to score more than the 70 he got when he shared the golden boot with Salah. Supposing he scored like 22, right? Now, normally for wide players in the league, it's always been considered that if you can score 1 in 4, you know, so 38 games, say 10 goals, let's be generous. So Sonny scores 22, the 2 wide players scored 10 each, you're now at 42, right? Now we get to the midfield, we're struggling, right? Maddison might hit you with 12, right? Supposing he has a really good season, hits you with 15. You're now at 57, right? You're looking at 87 goals, you're 30 goals short, right? Bentancur and all that, they'll chip in. The back four, if they got 3 each, 12 and all that. It's not going to happen, is it? And this is what you have to consider. In the cold light of day, how many goals does it take to win the Premier League? And if it's going to take 87, Spurs haven't got 87 goals in this team. Whatever team you pick. There isn't.
Fly pigeon.
There isn't 82.
Fly pigeon.
No,
go on.
If we create chances for him, he will score goals. Like, I don't think you guys understand that.
How many chances? Look, when he played Man U, 2 clear chances he had, and he scuffed the ball wide, for fuck's sake. He can't.
He scored.
Mate, I'll give it. Yeah, I know, but how many chances did he have that he should have actually put in the back of the net? Now, don't get me wrong. His past 7 games have been good, and I won't grill the man on the effort he puts in, but effort is his best. He has had 7 good games out of 50 bloody. How many has he played for us? 50, 55 now?
He's done 2 seasons.
Listen,
easily.
We are not taking into account the fact that he was injured last season, and it doesn't make sense to me. From last season, from the World Cup, he's been suffering from the groin injury until the part that he was absent for a little bit for us, and he came back. And since then, he's been. Isn't it interesting? Ever since he's come back from surgery on that injury, that mysteriously, ever since he came back to Tottenham, he's been playing poor. Ever since he's gotten surgery for the injury, he's been playing good. Oh my god!
Because he's had the ball nearly walked in the bloody net.
Hold on.
You need to come up.
I agree with you. That surgery.
If Richarlison finishes the season with 15 to 17 goals,
he will.
Then you keep him as a squad player because, like, you're looking at a
squad player.
Yes, but I agree with that. I agree with that.
On the pitch,
you said you play him as the striker to win the league.
5 out of 9. That gives you 16, plus a couple of others for injuries, 18. Even Man City haven't got 25 world-class players or super players. So now you're looking at 18. You can fill the other 7 places wherever you want, whether it's a Ben Davis or a Skip or whatever. If you keep them for homegrown, that's not a problem with me. It doesn't bother me, right? But like we need to get to the stage like where we've got that 16 to 18 quality players, right? So we ain't out there today and struggling because we lack quality in midfield, which cost us.
By the way, can I say about this comment? Can I say about that comment about Timo Werner? I saw you guys talking bad about Timo Werner. He was excellent today in running into the spaces, and we did not find him once. And I has my blood boiling, man. This guy was running in so many times. Where he
why do you like all the crap players? I'm
not talking. No, Stell, you can't be this. No, Stell,
you can't got in some brilliant positions, and he did not.
Let me ask a question. We agreed on that. We did agree on that. But when he did get on the ball and he did have a chance to do something, he did nothing other than.
No, you didn't see the chance. You didn't see the chance he played.
I just said other than 1 through ball.
There were a couple of times he cut in. I thought he's going to have a shot. He didn't have a shot. Didn't have a shot.
You guys had 1 shot tonight.
Yeah.
We didn't even have a shot. Johnson running. It weren't a shot. Johnson running into the bloody keeper. Now, let me ask a question for everyone.
It was recorded as 1 shot tonight.
If that would have been Son on the left, if that would have been Son on the left today, would he have getting in those positions? Because for me, Timo Werner and Son are the same player. It's just Son is better. Timo is a poor man's Son, but he plays exactly the same style that Son does on the left. Yeah, exactly the same. So it's nothing for the club to adapt to with him because he gets in exactly the same places. He just gets caught offside more, even though Son gets it a lot. If that would have been Son up the left, would he have got more service?
He would have a shot.
Hold on. He does not play exactly like Son, okay?
Yes,
Son
he
cuts
does.
inside and he actually finishes.
What does Timo Werner do?
He can shoot.
He uses his pace and cuts inside. He plays exactly like Son. He's just not as good at it.
Dan, I'm sorry, you can't talk about Son on this show.
Why not?
But you know what?
Fireworks go off.
Fireworks
go off. Let it go, mate. Let it go. Let it go. Bang. Timo Werner plays the same style of football as Son.
I will admit where I am wrong. Okay. So what the numbers that I looked at were his goals, his last 6 goals at the beginning of December. Okay. So it did not include some of his December goals. So you're right. I will admit that you are right. He has been scoring. He has been scoring more goals with his feet lately than he had ever before because he was mostly doing headers before. That being said, let me ask you a question because you always ban Arsenal. Okay, you always ban Arsenal. And you talk about how Jesus is not as is not a good striker. I know you say this all the time. He's not as good a striker as Richie.
Richarlison is so clear of him.
So clear of him. Okay.
Calma.
This and hold on. He's so clear of him. Richie has 7 goals this season so far. Jesus only has 3 goals. Right? Okay. So clearly. Oh my God. Okay. Richie's shooting accuracy is lower than Jesus's. His shooting accuracy is lower. So why are you saying this when we have a striker? He's not clinical enough. When we look at Arsenal who can't score goals, Arsenal who don't make enough chances, these players who we would never want to take that we
they don't take enough chances
shit and they can't score goals. And then we have a player who is getting chances and his accuracy, his shooting accuracy is lower than these other guys. He's not good enough. He's not a striker that's good enough. Why is his shooting accuracy so low?
Dan, just to back up what Cube said. Sorry, just to back up what Cube said. I was watching a show yesterday where they were talking about strikers, and Richarlison came like in one of the lowest percentiles for chances. The chances he's got and the number he's converted, he's really bad. Really bad.
He's also really bad at chances converted from finishing chances. Haaland, does that mean he's a bad striker? No, it's because he gets a lot of chances, and yes, he may miss a load of them, but that doesn't mean that he's a bad striker.
Dan. The point I'm making is, fine. If Haaland's down as well, that's fine. The difference is, we have a player, we can't afford to be doing that. Sonny is clinical. Harry Kane, he wasn't as clinical as Son. He'd score 2 in every 3. But if Richarlison's scoring 1 in every 5, that is not good enough for us. Because we have to catch City. They can afford to make those mistakes. We can't. That's the difference.
Haaland's shooting accuracy is 53%. Richie's shooting accuracy is 39% this season.
So Dan, you lied.
Chances missed.
Well, he has more chances. Therefore, he has more chances missed. But his shooting accuracy. We're talking about clinicalness.
I thought you were saying missed chances, not missed chances. My bad.
Shooting accuracy. His shooting accuracy is substantially lower. Okay, he is not clinical enough. He is not good enough.
I would love if you could find that
accuracy is like a pissed man at the pub throwing punches.
So Dan,
I would love.
So Dan, using your logic, then, right? You would using your argument, you would rather have Richie than Haaland at Spurs.
That's not what I said.
No. If you're saying to me that Haaland has got not very good accuracy or conversion of chances, therefore, would you rather have Richie over Haaland? If he's got the same,
of course not. But that's not what I'm saying.
But hold on. You just use Haaland as a reason as not having
as an example of a great striker that can also miss chances.
Yeah, so why would you have Haaland over Richie then?
Yeah, but look at what we have.
They create so much that of course.
No. But Haaland's not going to play for City. Haaland's going to play for us. So why would you have Haaland over Richie if he's got the same problem?
No, he doesn't.
Look,
His
you know,
conversion rate.
this season,
What? That's not what I'm saying.
But this season, Holland and Sonny shooting accuracy is like 50%, past 50%. Okay, Jesus is like 40%. And Richie is like 39, 38%.
This also comes into what I was saying a lot this show that you're not taking into account. How much of those shot miss come before the surgery? How much of it comes before the surgery?
Has Richarlison needed surgery for the last 10 years because he was bang average at Watford, bang average for Brazil, bang average for Everton?
Where
is this excuse coming from?
Stella, can everybody in this panel not notice? Can everybody in this panel not notice he was playing better after the surgery?
Yeah, you know, in Orlando, I live not far from Little Brazil, and whenever I bring up Richarlison, and this is even before the injury, they knew they were screwed. This is our worst starting striker in the history of Brazil.
It's different for me. I've got a Brazilian uncle, and he tells me he sees a resemblance of R9 in Richarlison.
Oh my God, that's it. I'm done.
Mate, game over. People just leave it. Game over.
Mate. They're gonna shut down our channel. They're gonna shut down our channel for fraud.
Again. Your uncle is one of the very few.
This is fraud. We're committing fraud.
Trust me.
Saying these things
is a lot of Brazilians who do not like Richarlison.
Oh no,
guys,
that's not true. That's not true, Mari. Because Richarlison is at his best when he's playing for Brazil. That's how I know it's not true.
No, he's not his best. No, let me give you reality.
Crap as well.
For the Brazilians that I work with, that I'm surrounded with in Orlando, this is what they'll tell you. 3 things. Number 1, Richarlison's garbage. This is one of the worst eras of Brazil. And number 3,
they're wing backs.
Let me just tell you this.
Guys, I think in fairness, I mean, like
Vinicius Jr. Vinicius Jr. Right?
Wait, let Mari finish.
Neymar's injured. Vinicius Jr. and Rodrigo. They say if they don't show up at this World Cup that's going to be in the United States this summer, this World Cup, literally, they are going to run them off the continent. Because here's the thing. Listen. The Brazilians that I know in Little Brazil, in Orlando, they do not care what he does for Real Madrid. Because Neymar, they have not cashed their checks for Brazil the last couple of Copa Americas, and they have not cashed their checks in the last couple of World Cups. They don't care. Real Madrid is not in Brazil. So Brazilians, right? I watch a lot of South American TV. I have the channels. They criticize Vinicius Jr., who everybody rates. Because in Brazil, he's not panning out. Even to the fact that they died and it still failed Brazil. So,
that's not what I said.
No, you related Richarlison to R9 for God's sake.
They do not rate Richarlison. They do not like Richarlison, and they're praying for a striker to pop up from out of the way. I'm telling you the truth. I tell you the honest.
Hold on. Let me throw down a little bit, okay? So you're talking about how much of what I was talking about, the shooting accuracy, blah blah. How much of that was before his surgery? You're asking us to agree with you. Has he been better since his surgery? Yes, he's been better since his surgery. Okay, like I said, he's on good form. But you're like, oh, how much of it is influenced by his surgery and everything this season? I'm only looking at this season. Okay, he had his surgery done at the beginning of November. It is currently the middle to end of January. So the majority of this season has been while he's after his surgery doing on form. Okay. And, or you could say it's about half of the season. Maybe he was having a injury, and then half of the season so far, he's been at his best post-surgery. Okay. And his shooting accuracy is still low as fuck compared to what we need to be, regardless. The other thing is, by the way, you need to eat your hypocritism. Okay, the reason why you need to eat your hypocrisy is because last season, when Sonny, it turns out that Sonny had a groin injury all season long for 8 months. 8 months. And I even said, I think he's carrying an injury. You wanted to sit Sonny and bench him for Richarlison. And even though Richarlison scored 1 goal last season, and you wanted to bench Sonny, and you said that Sonny was done.
He scored 2.
Was done. And now you're trying to
three last season. 3.
Now hold on. Now you're trying to give excuses.
Like
2
6
against
offside.
Marseille, 1 against Liverpool.
Now you're trying to
And like 6 offside goals as well.
Now you're trying to give excuses for Richie being injured. I recognize maybe he has been injured. He hasn't been able to play as well because he's been injured. But you are a hypocrite because you were going crazy on Sonny, and you said you wanted to bench him and he was done.
Listen to me, okay? Nobody knew Son was going through an injury. So how on
I said it. And you were like, whatever, it doesn't matter. He's done.
I said that.
Yes, you said he was done. You said that he was done, and you wanted to sit him. You wanted to sit him.
Can we stop talking about Richarlison? Like
one last thing.
No. My original point, because I like the whole Richarlison conversation went from my original point of talking about the quality of the signings, right? Listen, whether you think Richarlison is good enough or not, my point was, and I just use striker as an example, but you can make the same case for right wing, fucking center mid, whatever, right? We need a borderline world-class player, right? I don't expect us to sign Mbappe, Vinicius Jr. or whatever, right? But if this summer we go out there and sign, I don't know, Olise, Vlahovic, like someone, Ivan Toney, someone to bring quality to this team. And listen, the area that we need to upgrade on the most is the front three. Whether you think Kulusevski, Richarlison, and Son are good enough or not, the rest of them are not good enough, right? Hill is not good enough, Solomon is not good enough, Johnson is not good enough, and the kids from the academy, I'm willing to give them chances, but they won't be the ones carrying us through the games, right? They won't be the ones to win us the titles. What we need right now is if Kulusevski is dropping a stinker like he did today, I know he played like center mid, but if he's dropping a stinker as a right winger, for him to come off the pitch and for a guy of better quality or similar quality to come on the pitch and change the game for us, right? That's what we are not capable of doing. So that's why this is the right side. That's why I'm agreeing with Stel and with Gerd, who said that this team, that the first 11, maybe in an isolated world when players don't get injuries, maybe it's good enough to compete for the title, right? But unfortunately, you don't play the game with 11 players, you play the game with 18 players, like Adrian said. So I actually agree with most of you guys, right? Which is smart, right? Listen, we can be and this is like in regards to the title of the stream, right? We can be like set up well, we can be the FFP Kings, we can have all those revenue streams, right? But if we don't use it to upgrade this fucking team, then we are not going to win shit. That's just as simple as that. And also, like, I also agree that Liverpool will go through a transition, right? Whether you like it or not, they will bring a world-class manager, I am sure of it, right? But they will have a change of style of play, the change of players, like all that shit will go, right? All that shit will happen there. The only team that will be stable and clearly better than us is Manchester City. Other teams like Arsenal, Chelsea, Manchester United, Newcastle, Aston Villa, all those teams, we are all in the same bag, right? And we need to go above it to challenge Manchester City. And for that, we need players of the class of Rodri, of the class of Haaland. Listen, again, I don't expect us to sign Haaland because I don't expect Levy to slap 150 million or someone, right? But if we sign a 70 million class winger to compete with Kulusevski, Son, or a 70 million class striker to compete with Richarlison, then I think we can actually go and do something. But if
we signed a 60 million Richarlison.
Yeah, but that's why I'm saying
Michael, I agree with you here.
Did you read my super chat?
I'll do it now. Mari super chat saying revenue means nothing if you don't seize the opportunity.
point, right?
This is the most important time in our era.
And that's what when I first came on, that's what I was trying to say. That this right now, with what Liverpool is about to go through, and whatever you believe, what may happen to City, right? You have the rest of the pack now. You have the rest of the pack, and now is the time. If there was ever a time for Levy to get his shit together and this board.
I agree, Marley.
I agree.
Now,
that is my whole point on why I was talking about the money we've got. If he goes and does it,
it's not even about the money, Tim. This is the opportunity.
I know, that's what I'm saying. We've got the money to do it if he goes and does it. There is no club who can spend the money that we can legally spend without even getting looked at, because we are such a good business and have such a good revenue just from the bloody stadium, what it does out of football, let alone what it does in football. Arsenal can't keep up with us with money. Newcastle can't spend a bloody penny because they ain't going to make shit up there, because up north they can't charge £110 a ticket because people can't bloody afford it. Aston Villa have got the same problem. Chelsea are going to be right up shit street soon. This is our perfect opportunity to do it. This is the point I was making about going on with all the money. We have got to take this chance now. Is Levy going to do it? I think he's shown a bit of backup for Ange. You can't say he hasn't. And we've got some players right. Is he going to take it further in summer? No. Getting Werner in and that didn't look good. What much option is there in January is the only point I'll make to that.
Ben, I totally agree, mate. I totally agree. This is why we got Dragusin in, because others couldn't compete with us. This is why we'll get Antonio Nusa in the next couple of days. Maybe tomorrow it'll be affirmed, officially affirmed, because other teams, they might want to beat us to the punch, but they can't because they're constrained by FFP.
Exactly. And let me just tell you something,
We've got them
why can't we go and get a Kvaratskhelia or a Vlahovic or a Chiesa?
Still, let me tell you something.
Raises the complete levels of this club.
Everyone's slated.
I'd love a
Vicario, yeah?
Perfect. I think it'd be perfect.
I told all you
lot. I don't mind Nusa, but why can't we get like a 24-year-old on point that's going to tear it up like a Rafinha?
We just have, mate. We just have. Mark my words on this one, yeah? I'll tell you. Mark my words on this one.
Well, we did get a Bale and
Vicario. Everyone slated Vicario. I told everybody, watch this man, he's quality, because I follow Italian football. Inter Milan is my second team.
I remember.
I've already seen Dragusin play, yeah? Last game I watched him play was Genoa against Inter. He scored against Inter with an excellent header, totally run the game from a bloody defender and tore it to pieces.
And he can play right back as well.
He can play left back, he can play right back, and he plays defensive and central midfield. He's done it all for Genoa, yeah?
I'm talking about one of the top players spoken about. Why can't we get an attacking, creative goal scoring?
Right. But what was everybody saying we needed most? A defender. So we went and bloody done it. Be happy with it in that aspect. Yes, we need to cover the rest.
I said we need goals.
9 out of 10. You might have. But 9 out of 10 Spurs supporters stated we need that defender to cover.
Also,
this defender we've got is good enough.
Yeah, but what we have done
to take on Van de Ven.
What we have done is usually analytics is we've got you Dogi in, right? We got Van de Ven in, right? Now, normally we'd all be turning around and saying like, oh, why haven't we got a proven player in? Why haven't we played 40, 50 million pounds for like Joe Blogs or whatever it is?
No, Adrian.
To be great.
No, Adrian, that's
hold on. But we've done that actually because we've got you Doggy in. We've got Van der Ven in. These guys will be £100 million players in the future, right? But we've done it.
I think they're already around there.
All right, but Adrian, we are doing what we did. Sorry, we are doing what we did to Harry Kane and Son. You bring in a Kane, you bring in a Son, but then you give them a Serge Aurier and a Sissoko to play with them. What's the point of bringing in? Van der Ven and Udogie if you're going to put in a Brennan Johnson and a Timo? This is the point I'm making. Like, I don't
right
think
on that
anything's changed at Spurs. I think we've just rebuilt that Pochi vibe, that top 4 challenging team that crashes out of cups. We might finish second or third in the next couple of years. But what I'm saying is nothing changes at this club until the good players we've got, you put more good players to play with them.
Exactly.
Whilst we've got these,
can't say we have.
Let me give you a perfect example.
You're a coach, right? You can't say we haven't gone quite a good way of getting there. Our back 4 with recurring goal, and you can include Dragusin.
I think we've done a great job with the defense,
right?
I think we've done a great job.
Our midfield is good when everyone else is fit, but we need a bit more quality to add.
Let me give you a perfect example.
And Skip, and our front 3 are crap.
Adrian, let me give you an example.
So like, but we have.
Adrian, let me give you a perfect example.
We had a good attack at Spurs.
What needs to happen now? This is a perfect example, right? Everybody, it seems to know that. All right,
Murray, get rid of the red shirt, yeah.
I know it's a school shirt. I know.
Nah, jump in whenever you want, by the way.
I use a perfect example, right? Right now, everybody knows Real Madrid is going to have to sell one of their good players if they really are serious about bringing Mbappe.
Yeah, they're skin.
Mbappe in. So
no, they're not, mate. They are not.
So the rumor is Vinicius Jr. But let's not say it's Vinicius Jr. because Ed M brought up another rumor that is put out there. Valverde, right? Valverde is one of the best midfielders that is out there on the on the planet.
Yeah.
He's solid. Of course, City can't get him because they got Rodri, right? So they don't need him, right? And Declan Rice, right? He's at Arsenal, right? Chelsea can't really spend anymore. They're gonna have to give away, right? So they can't spend anymore, right? So it's only United because Liverpool now is going through that change, right? So we don't know what they're gonna do. You would think that Daniel Levy, right? Yes, Valverde is valued at 90 mil, right? He's valued at 90 mil. You know this guy is world class. This guy is mint. This guy is solid. And Real Madrid is crying that they have to let him go to get Mbappe, right? This is what I'm talking about, seizing the moment. That's what Liverpool did, right? They put all their marbles on Van Dijk and Alisson. They're like, right? Because Ten Hag has already spent more than Jurgen Klopp has spent in the 8 years that he's in. To say, okay, we're going to get Valverde, and Valverde will be a solid defensive midfielder for us for the next 7 or 8 years. That's what I'm talking about, seizing the opportunity. And it doesn't have to be Valverde, but it could be like a forward position, right? We know Sonny's getting older, whatsoever. All right, we need someone to either challenge him or play opposite from him, right? Because eventually, right, either we're going to have to make that Harry Kane decision in regards to Son, or we're going to let him just play it out. But we need to bring support for him, right? This is what I'm talking about, seizing the moment. So this summer, I don't expect it to happen in January. This is the most important time because we're going to qualify for Europe. It looks like we're going to qualify for Europe, Europa or Champions League. But this is the time. Now we have to look at the picture, right? If we are 400 million clear of FFP in comparison to everybody else, this is the time that Daniel Levy, right, if you believe it or not, has to wake the fuck up and be like, yo, we could put Tottenham in a different stratosphere now. This is the time. This is the moment to seize it. And if he doesn't do it, it should be clear as night and day to our fan base that this guy is not serious. He is.
I totally agree, Murray. I totally agree.
Do you know
what you've got to say?
He's got to give Postecoglou a chance.
Arsenal's in the same position. Arsenal's in the same position now with Levy, Liverpool, and what happened today. Arsenal's in the same position. Damn, this is the time to seize the moment because City, Pep has not signed past 2025. His last year is next year.
No, his last year's at the end of this season. He's quit. He's already come on TV and said he's off.
He has one more year. Pep has one more year. That's next
season. Does. Oh, Pep. Sorry, Pep. I misheard you. I misheard you. I misunderstood.
Everybody has one more year. and then the charges are supposed to be coming. And if that happens, it's a free-for-all. Someone needs to be king. This is the moment to seize the opportunity.
I think on the transfers, why Johnson so far so good. Everyone said we needed a defender and we should have got a defender instead of Johnson. He's now gone and got us one of the best up-and-coming defenders in Europe. Mark my words, watch this man. He's going to be fighting all the way to take Van der Ven's place. Watch him. If I just mark my words on it.
Yeah.
He is absolute quality. I've seen him play a couple of times. Not that many, but I've seen him play. This man is good.
No, and you know what? Watching Van der Ven tonight, up in the
he was brilliant.
Let these two guys.
He was the best player.
I haven't. Yeah, I'll pass it to Matt next.
Matt and Gert wanted to say something.
Yeah. I'll do Matt then Gert straight away. I actually worry that if we don't win trophies in the next couple of years, I can see the Real Madrids, the Bayerns coming in for 100 million and buying.
Of course. Of course.
He's superb. Yeah. He's absolutely superb. Yeah, Matt, go for it, bro. Matt, go for it.
The Dragusin will give him a run for his money. Watch.
Yeah, I think I don't think we should get fixated on the cost of the players, because if you're looking at this is Big Angie's second transfer window. If you look at the majority of the signings, I don't think anybody in the Spurs fan base would have picked Vicario. I don't remember anybody mention Udogie. So I think
I did.
I told everyone both of them were quality.
I said Udogie. I said Udogie.
But the majority of people would.
I know. Most people only follow the Premiership
players. So what I'm interested to see in the summer is players like Santi Jimenez, those type of caliber of player. If we can get them, and I don't think they're going to cost the earth, from Feyenoord. I think if we are decisive early in the transfer window, like we were with Dragusin, if we can make those bids early before the other big hitters get to the table. In respect to Richarlison, if you look at Richarlison's football history, he's been a floater. He's played on the left, he's played a little bit down the middle, and he's played a little bit down the right. And if you look at the clubs he's played at, clubs like Watford, Everton, their style, their system of play is a defensive, long ball style of football. So Richarlison is not suited to the way that Big Ange plays football, but he inherited him. When Big Ange got the job at Spurs, he had an in and an out tray. And the biggest thing on his out tray was Harry Kane wants to leave the football club. So to deal with that and sell Richarlison and bring a number 9 in a chaotic pre-season, I think was very difficult for him to do. So
I hear. I really agree with you.
I think a big credit needs to go to Big Ange, because what he's doing is making the best of this current situation. He could have done a Conte, and he could have done a Jose, and he could have thrown Richarlison under the bus. He hasn't done that, and I think he's trying to make the best of the current situation. But I do not think on any green earth is Richarlison a player that Post-Kane would have gone for in a transfer window and signed. So I'm fascinated when I'm fascinated when the transfer window opens in the summer, if a Joshua Zirkzee at Bologna or a Santi Jimenez, those are the players that I think are suited. They're mobile, they're intelligent, they're comfortable on the ball, and they score goals. Yeah. Those are the players that I think we can get for 30, 35, 40 million, well within Tottenham's budget. So we're obviously all disappointed. We all want players now, but I firmly believe in the summer he will correct that forward line. I firmly believe it.
Matt.
Okay, go on.
Let me just say, Matt, I agree with pretty much most of the things that you just said. Right up into that last little segment, I think for me, Postecoglou Big Ange has surpassed expectation. He's had a lot to deal with. Yeah, he's had a lot to deal with Kane going, reorganising the team. You know, he's re-energised Richarlison. He's banged in a couple of goals. I don't know if Madison came in underneath him, or I can't remember, but I think he has done a fantastic job. He's done a brilliant job, and I think it would be criminal if Levy, and I think Levy will give him funds in the summer.
Yeah.
But going back to that, right? I think if we rewound a little bit, and me and Steve have had these conversations, you know, we were sitting on the beach in Cyprus, and saying, good, if we lose Kane, right, you know, and it was like, who the fuck is Ange? You know, who the fuck is he? Right? You know, I mean, like, he's come in. It's like, well, who is this guy? You know, I mean, he's not managing the Premier League.
I told you we'd get top 4.
No, but before, when you said Kane was going to leave, you'd be like an 8th or a 9th club, right?
I'll be back in 1 second.
Yeah. But you know, I mean, the job.
But then I saw some pre-season games. I'm like, hold on.
Yeah. But the job he's done, I mean, is nothing short but incredible. I think he's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
In some ways, he's had the easiest job a manager's ever had coming to the Premiership. The easiest part of the job he had. How toxic was Spurs fan base? Still is most of the time, but it was the most split up it's ever been. He had the easiest job a manager has ever had coming to the Premiership. Play some attack.
Fan base. He's there to manage that team.
A manager has to manage a fan base as well, because if the fan base ain't working, the team don't usually work. Look at Liverpool. As soon as you wind them up and the fan base starts getting down, Liverpool get better. It's part of his job. Dan, that's all he had to do was play attacking football and get us finishing 6th, and he's already done a quality job. And the players he's had come in already double the quality of what Conte's had come in. He's had a lot easier job than a lot of managers have had coming to Spurs. To win the fans, all he had to do was play bloody attacking football.
It takes a certain type of manager.
He had to get results as well. He had to get results.
He's a quality manager. I'm not saying otherwise.
Yeah.
But he has had a much better set of players than Conte had. Yeah. Conte is a world-class manager. So is Jose Mourinho.
Would you say then?
I rate him over Conte in terms of the job he's done.
No, I didn't rate either. I thought they were both crap. Honestly.
Would you say, Dan, and then that's another feather in his cap, because he's actually been able to do what Conte couldn't do. He's actually been able to manage up. He's been able to manage Daniel Levy and the actual directors to get players in the first week of the transfer window.
He's done a brilliant job. I'm not disputing none of that. I'm just stating in some ways he's had one of the easiest jobs a Spurs manager's ever had. One was winning the fan base, which was a piece of piss. Kick the ball forward and everyone was happy.
We're better
off without Harry Kane. Yeah, on one of the states, we're better off without Harry Kane. We played better as a team without Kane.
He walked in and had to lose Harry Kane. That was a massive thing.
Yeah, but he never played with Harry Kane, so what does it matter to him?
Yeah, but Harry Kane bought you what? 25, 28,
nothing.
30
yeah, but what did he bring us? What did he bring us when it mattered in a final? Nothing. What did he do for England in a final? Put it in a summer.
Yeah, but who got England to the final? Who got England to the final? Who got Tottenham?
I think that's a bit cruel. Actually, he's a world-class player.
He is a world-class player.
He's the best
striker in the world.
I think Harry Kane's
a world-class player.
I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. He's the best striker on the planet, in my opinion. He's the most complete striker I've seen in 20-odd years.
Yeah.
In 20-odd years. I don't think I've seen a more complete striker than Harry Kane of what he can do. He's got it all except the pace.
Number 10, number 9, everything like... Yeah, like
he's a 9 and a 10 all in one.
The pace, it'd be classed as fucking better than Messi and fucking Ronaldo. You know what I mean?
I don't know about that, but it'd be close. But what I'm saying is, we play better as a team without Harry Kane. Why? Because as all we ever used to do, we're in trouble. Where's Harry Kane? There you go. Where's Harry Kane? There you go. Now we actually have to play as a team. Now we actually have to work our way around it. And
Yeah,
still is 100%
we
right.
could have
When get that
used a
front
Harry
three-
Kane today. We
we
sure
could.
as hell could have used a Harry Kane today to score a fucking goal against City. I'm just saying.
When Poch played a team-based possession attacking football, Kane was class in that system. I think Harry Kane plays in any system under any manager and performs. I think if we had Kane now, we'd be fucking top three.
I don't think Dan was making the point
we'd be top of the league, actually.
that if we had Kane, we would be worse. I think the point is that with how we played like last season compared to how we played this season, it's much better even without Kane, right? Of course, if you slap a Kane into this team, like that, basically, you know, guys, there is this homegrown English striker in the Bundesliga. I think we should go for him, right? That's the type of signing I'm talking about, right? When we want to elevate this team, right? But
buy him back.
But as a team in whole, we actually play better without Harry Kane because we ain't just relying on one bloody player. They have to work harder together. If we get a half decent striker sorted out and get the front sorted out, because the rest of the pitch on the 11 is basically sorted. It is. Once we get that front three sorted out, we're up there. We're definitely up with a good one. But
I don't think you're far short on that top three.
No, players have had to play better and work more together and rely on each other instead of just relying on Harry bloody Kane. And
but
I love the player.
we have a depth issue. So even if we got that first, the front, sorted out and we got, one good striker or whatever, what if that person gets injured? Look at how we were doing when we had Romero and Van de Ven out. We're lucky. We had
but that's not what I'm saying.
We had Udogie who was suspended for a game, but we're lucky enough that Udogie has stayed fit so far this season. Porro stayed fit this season. Otherwise, we're looking at Davies and Emerson again, like under Conte. So
but that's not what I stated.
So we are, as far as challenging is concerned, as far as like being up there, I think we're far from it still because we do not have the depth to compete.
Okay, let me put another point to you then. How many players did Chelsea use with Conte when they won the league? How many separate players did they play?
17, that was? 17
I think it was 15 or 16. Might have been 17, yeah?
Look at the
a
players.
lot of it comes down to luck with injuries. You have an injury-prone season, you're screwed, yeah? I think we have got a good first 11, but we need to sort out the front now. We've got backup
they're
defense.
a better squad than us. They're a better squad than us, man. They're a better team than us.
No, but that literally said that they use 16 players, right? So, I think
Spurs have only got 9 good players, in my opinion.
And we need
one of the Champions
We've got more than 9 still.
One of the Champions Leagues under Zidane that Real Madrid won. I'm pretty sure they used like 13 players, right? Of course, the players were like world class level, right? But listen, guys, let's walk through it, right? Analyze the team. Vicario, good, right? Van de Ven, Romero, Dragusin, good, right? Dragusin, I think he's
going to be brilliant.
Porro, Udogie, Bentancur, Sar, Bissouma, Maddison, Son. Right? So that's like 11, I think. 11.
I have a question for you.
Some of them are like duplicate positions, right? So we basically we don't.
I'm talking about the whole squad, right? So if we play with a Bissouma, Bentancur, and Maddison in the midfield, we have Pape Sarr who can fill the role, right? If Romero is not available, then Dragusin can play, right? So technically, we have like 9 first team players with 2 backups, let's say, right? So what we need to do in the summer is fill the 11 with a striker and a winger that can actually score goals, right? Or and then we need to fill the team. So we need to buy a left back, we need to buy a center mid, and we need to buy another defender. And
back up to Maddison.
Back up to Maddison. But we always bring like 7 players, right? We always bring like 6 to 7 players.
Michael, I have a question for you. I have a question for you. And the panel could jump in. I said this a couple of weeks ago because Bissouma, after he got his suspension, went on a dip. Do you think we can improve on Basuma, almost to the point now Basuma is being challenged for his position, because I don't think his position, me personally, is automatic, right? The only one honestly is Vicario, Son. Now that Draxon's come in, now he's putting feet under Romero's tire.
Madison is automatic, right?
Yeah.
Mari, Basuma
should be automatic. But I'm just saying, like, can we, if there's a chance, can we improve on Basuma? If
I would like to hear some options.
I'm not saying that he shouldn't start. I'm just saying if we can improve, because I also want to see us do better, right? There's teams that have they have a conflict. Oh man, should we start this person?
Mari, can I get an idea of like a player that you're seeing?
Basuma's coming to for a lot of criticism because like he's had 3 suspensions out the 7 suspensions Spurs players and his last suspension has coincided with him being away on international duty. So fans have like, oh, let's have a fucking pop at him. Come on.
He's a quality player. He's a brilliant player.
In first 10 games, he was vying with Madison for being our best player. The guy is a quality player.
I'm just saying that as a team, right? If there's a possibility, if we can improve on Basuma, should we be able to do that? That's
Would you
play him instead of Højbjerg today?
He was going on a dip.
Played him instead of Højbjerg today.
He was going on a dip, you know. But I just want to throw that question out there, because for me, I think we will be a great team, a best team, if we can be a team where our bench is challenging our starters. Our starters are not thinking like, hey, this position is mine. And so for me, I don't want to see that anymore. I want to see where people are like, you know what, my form better not dip for 2 or 3 games, because if it dips, that guy on that bench wants my spot. And he's playing well to take my spot. So that's why, for me, I throw out that question to Michael and to the panel, like, should we also, in the sense, in the summer or even the window after that, still think of, okay, we need to be too deep in each position forward.
Let me answer that question.
Go.
So, but before I answer my question, I've got 2 shirts with Basuma on the back, and I have him on my wallpaper. He's my favorite player. People might think Richarlison is my favorite player. No, it's actually Basuma. So before I say anything, don't take it like I'm criticizing Basuma. I love him. He's my favorite footballer in the world. Basuma, ever since that red card at Luton, has dipped. That's not the Basuma that I know. That's not the Basuma I know. And Maury, what you're saying, 100%, if we can improve on Basuma, 100% go out there and do it. That's going to now be on a recruitment team to find a player that's better than Basuma.
Same for
100%. This is how winners are made. This is how winners are made. You can never have any attachments. I don't care if it's Son. I don't care if it's Richarlison. If we can improve on any position, we should go out and do it. Now the problem comes: how are you going to find a defender, CDM or center midfielder, the way that he plays in this team, that is better than Basuma? That's going to be the challenge now. And how good he is when he's at his peak, it's going to be a very difficult test.
It's Kone that did the video. Will did a video on Kone. Stel knows about him. Who's out in Germany?
Kone is class.
Kone.
Is he better than Basuma? Is he better than Basuma, or is he a player like you said to come in like behind?
He's a younger version of Basuma.
He's a younger version. He looks
He's the same but more powerful.
Yeah. Say, I would like to say, you know what? Bring him in and challenge Basuma. Have both of them.
Kone is brilliant.
Mari, if I can answer your question, right?
Yeah.
When you field the squad, right, you have 11 players on the pitch and you have 9 players on the bench, right? Excluding goalkeeper, because you always have to have a goalie on the bench, right? But goalie is a different like kettle of fish, because goalies usually you always have a number 1 who is not challenged, and then you have like a sub keeper who rarely plays, right? So excluding that, right? you have 8 places on the bench and 10 places on the field. And I think if like the healthiest squad that can be, all those 8 players can go into the team and perform at least to a similar standard as the first 11, right?
Yeah.
So for me, like as I said with our midfield, Maddison, Bissouma, Sarr and Bentancur, right? The four of the midfielders that we would like to keep, right? If we bring in another midfielder that can play as an 8 or as a 10, right? Because Sarr can play as an 8 or a 6, right? Bentancur 8-6, Bissouma more of a 6, Maddison is a 10, right? So we need another midfielder that can, when Maddison is dropping a stinker, or when Bentancur is dropping a stinker, we need a midfielder who can take his place for a couple of games and either let the guy regain his form.
Caravascalia, man. Caravascalia.
He's more of a winger, right? But
He's a winger, yeah.
the same thing goes for the forward line, right? Yeah,
Right.
he could be a 10 easily, right? But listen, the same thing like with Son, Kulusevski, and even Richarlison, whether we like him or not, right? We need a striker who can come in and sit Richarlison on the bench if he is having a bad patch, right? And I think like that's the point of building a squad, right? And I don't think that we are that far away from being capable to do that, right? I think we all are happy with like 11 players, 12 players from this team as a squad players or as a first 11, right?
Michael, we should try and sign Paqueta from West Ham.
Oh, that's like 80 million probably, or 70 something stupid, right? So yeah, like
what are the odds of that one?
Like, listen, guys, like let's not get fooled, right? Because like people when
I thought we're the richest club in London, Dan. I thought we're the FFP.
No, you don't understand. You don't understand. Still, you don't understand. So, what are the odds of that one?
Odds, yeah, because Paqueta was done for betting.
He's done an Ivan Toney. He's done an Ivan Toney.
Yeah, he's done an Ivan Toney. Like he's not banned, but he was accused of it, right? But
Mike,
yeah.
The question you asked me. The question you asked me on the private, Mark, about what's his face, Zirkzee, the Bologna striker, isn't he? I can't remember whether he's Dutch or Belgium. You know what, mate? That would not be a bad Dutch, innit? Yeah, he would not be a bad call to take a chance.
Is it another Vincent Janssen?
35 million.
He's a good player. He's
young and bright. I'd rather go
his buyout clause is 35 million.
Isn't like if you make the Janssen case, then isn't like Jimenez in the same bucket, right? He's also from Eredivisie. But listen, like I don't really like this argument of Vincent Janssen, right? Because Suarez also came from Eredivisie. So
thank you. I was about to say, I'm like, people have not watched Jimenez, and Jimenez is
Jimenez is
they're not even amazing striker. Yeah, they're not even the same style of striker or player. So people are being lazy. And it's really disrespectful to the Dutch league. How many people have come out the Dutch league? Luis Suarez, you mentioned.
Van Persie.
Van Nistelrooy.
Like Van Nistelrooy. Like you can't. You have to take each player for who there is. You cannot say, oh, they came from the Dutch league. We're not. No. Yes, we effed up with Vincent Janssen.
So is Haaland.
Okay, but you cannot say, oh, Vincent Janssen 2.0. No, Jimenez is only different than Janssen. And that tells you that the person's being lazy, because even if you watch the comp videos, they're not even the same player. So for people to compare, that's not the thing. And I would like to throw a disclaimer. My fiance, because she's Mexican, wants Jimenez on the Spurs team, so she can get the jersey. So I'm throwing that out there. If he
you know who I want? Whoever Ange wants. That is my. That is my new recruitment strategy. That is my new recruitment strategy. Whoever Ange wants.
He got Brian Johnson.
Yeah, who he truly wants.
I'm still in the camp of backing Brennan Johnson. I'm still in the camp of backing
Brennan Johnson. I wish you were 18 years old so I could call you something, but I can't.
Dad, wink, who he truly wants, right?
No. Wait, well, what are we saying here? That he didn't want Brendan Johnson? Because that's not true. He did want Brendan Johnson, and I'm waiting to back him. And we have to give him time.
I find it hard to believe, man.
The club were looking at Brendan Johnson 2 years ago. They were looking
I
at
find it hard to believe, man.
Wait.
Hey, that's
Okay.
just me. That's just me. If you really wanted Manor Solomon, Kane went out the door.
He never wanted Manor Solomon. He never wanted Manor Solomon. There's zero reports of him asking for Manor Solomon.
Danny, mouth away from the microphone because you are a bit loud, right? But
it's a vacuum passing by.
Yeah, if you want an argument, like a logical argument as to why he didn't really want Johnson, right? Look at the attributes of a winger in his system, right? Look at how Celtic played and what his wingers were doing. Brennan Johnson is none of that. He doesn't dribble with the ball. He's not good at passing, at like short range, intricate passing. Brennan Johnson is a counter-attacking style of player. I think if we were playing under Conte, then Brennan Johnson would be actually quite good, right? If he had like 2 sets of lungs to actually run, because he doesn't have that, right? But if he ran, his pace, his control of the ball is not that bad, right? But he doesn't pass on a short, range, and he's not good at shooting and at dribbling. So he's just not the type of player for his system, and that's just my opinion, right? And I think we are misunderstanding whether Ange wanted Brennan Johnson or whether Ange agreed to have Brennan Johnson. Because I think that's the same case with Werner, right? I don't think Werner would be the type of player that Ange would handpick for his system. But if he got offered Werner, then I think he said, yes, I will take Werner. I will make do with him because I prefer Werner than fucking Brian Hill, right? And listen, Brian Hill, in principle, is a winger for his system. It's just that Brian Hill is not good enough and not muscular enough, right?
Another donkey on the wing. Another donkey on the wing.
It's fucking 4 a.m.
Go stick Gil Spain and he'll be fine. Over here, he's flimsy. Yeah. You can blow him off with a bit of air, basically. Blood kiss at him and a little floor on his ass. He just has not got no muscle, but Johnson ain't much better.
Look, I think that, I agree with D Mizzy, English D Mizzy, to a certain extent, that I'm like, you know what? I just want Ange to be back to 100%. I want whoever Ange wants, and then we'll just see where the chips fall, right? Then that's on him, if he is 100% back and if he is actually getting everybody that he wants to get. We don't know for a fact that that's true, but he claims that he is getting who he wants. Okay, fine. But it's just that for my personal preference, I am just sick of us collecting forwards who cannot finish.
Yeah.
It's just tiring to watch. Okay, it's exhausting. Watching Manor Solomon, Hill, Brennan Johnson, Richie. I mean, they're collecting. Before that, Lucas. Now he's gone, but you know what I mean? It's just irritating to just see us collect these players and see them not be able to perform and be like, they can get up to a certain point and then they just can't finish. And as a fan, it's just difficult to continue to watch that.
It is. I'll agree with that.
Yeah, I agree.
Listen, guys, I don't want to be rude. I need to wrap it up because I have work tomorrow morning. But I'll go around so everyone can have a final say. So I'll start at the bottom and go up. D Mizzy, plug your channel as well. Big it up.
I'm gonna plug my channel and then I'm gonna give a big statement, which I truly believe. So you guys can find me at Dan D Mizzy. I changed my channel. I keep saying Dan THC. I will be doing football content still, but I will be ranging from doing football content, doing content on my life, doing vlogs like that. That's why I changed it from Dan THC to D Mizzy to my old YouTube channel name before I started doing Tottenham content, and it was literally just vlogs and stuff. So yeah, we're back to this. You guys can find me also on Twitter, which is now X. So I don't know. I keep saying Twitter either. Instagram and TikTok. I make content on all those platforms. Or actually, I don't make any content on Instagram. I just have the account and sits there. But I do make content on TikTok and YouTube. Big up to the panel. Big up to everybody in the chat. And I'm going to leave you guys on one statement. Klopp is leaving Liverpool. Right. Klopp is leaving Liverpool. They're going to have to rebuild now after the Klopp era. We have to wait and see what happens with the Pep Guardiola charges and what's going to happen with the Manchester City charges and see what happens. Man City have won the treble. Pep Guardiola says he has one more season in him. Maybe he leaves as well next season. Who knows? Arteta's having an absolute stinker with Arsenal right now, and almost half of the fan base wants him out right now. Can Tottenham be the new team that controls the era of the Premier League? Now that all these managers are leaving, will we be the face of the Premier League?
That's the question. That's why I posed the same question. I think we can. I think I'm next. I think I might be doing a show Sunday, with some neutrals, Arsenal person, Chelsea person, because this is huge news, and I've been saying this all day and tonight. Exactly what Dan has just said. This time is now really. I know we had a moment with Poch, but also Pep was coming in. Klopp was coming in. I really think this is now. This is now or never with Levy and Enoch, because right now with what is going to happen, Liverpool will take a step back. Klopp was an institution. He was not only a manager, he was an institution. Liverpool will have a setback before they go forward. Now it's just the rest of the pack, right? All right. City is, they're in trouble. They're trying to bring them down. But even then, there's still the rest of the pack. Will Tottenham seize the moment? We can talk about revenue. We can talk about all the money we have or whatsoever. Will they seize the opportunity, like Dan just says, to seize the opportunity to be the new kings, or at least competitive of bringing finally silverware to our club? This is the time now to strike. We're in the same boat in regards to being the rest of the pack. Even more than ever financially, we're not in trouble since we're the FFP kings, right? So now there's no excuses. And if we don't seize this opportunity now, the fans have to bring this on Levy and Enoch's head. This is the opportunity now.
Go Murray.
And so I might do a show on Sunday about the ramifications and who is to benefit with Liverpool now going to be taking a step back after the season. Right? They will win some trophies this season. Now, who is going to seize the moment? And it could be us, Arsenal, Newcastle, even Villa, right? And Arsenal and Chelsea and United. Even though they're struggling, now they're like, whoa, this is a game changer. Maybe we're not too far off. And if something happens to City with these charges, it's a free fall. Who's going to take the opportunity? And so I'll leave you guys with that.
This football club.
Big up to Maury, big up to Dan. Dan, the other Dan, older Dan.
Yeah, I've had to take a couple of months off recently due to medical issues. Only just started slowly coming on a couple of shows again, and going to start coming on a couple more shows, get myself together, and then hopefully within 2-3 weeks I'll be able to get my show up and running again. But it's just been down to medical reasons why I've been out for the past 2 months and had to disappear. So yeah, on Hotspur Hood, give me 2-3 weeks, I'll be back on my feet and get stuff working again. And with what Mare's just said there, mate, you're 100% right. To me, Liverpool losing Klopp is as bad as Man U losing Fergie. They are going to take a step back. There's players there who play for him and purely for him. And this is our time to take it. We're now proving we've got the money. Our income's only going to get bigger, especially if we get in the Champions League and that. Our style of football is going to attract people. Money we can offer, if we do offer, will attract people. But it all comes down to what if will Levy do it? We shall see.
I quickly want to say something to Wayne. Wayne, even Liverpool fans, watch them. Even Liverpool fans are saying they will step back. Naturally, they will step back. Because the new philosophy, when they bring up Wayne, there will be a step back. You don't lose Klopp, and there's not a step back. And Mo Salah is going to be sold now more than ever to the Middle East, and Virgil van Dijk is on his last legs. So there will be change. There will be a step back for Liverpool. They will come back, but there will
a lot of assumption though.
It will be a step
making
back.
a lot of assumptions.
Yeah.
People, I'm going to have to say goodbye quickly because I've got to go. My eyes are totally gone. I'm all over.
Bye, Dan. Bye, Dan, mate.
It's been great having a show with you. Thanks for letting us on, and we'll speak to everyone in the future. Best of luck to everyone. Take care of yourselves and take it easy.
Bye, Dan.
Come on, you Spurs.
You too, mate. Guys.
Adrian, do you want to have your say? Then I'll go to Cube.
Oh, wow, guys. Still, thanks. I mean, really appreciate the invite on the channel, you know. I mean, like, I've been a Spurs fan, like, I'm 69 years of age now. I watch the double-side play. So I've had the pleasure of us winning 14 of our 17 trophies in our history. And I've had a few beers tonight, come back from the game, you know, disappointed we're out the FA Cup, but, like, still filled with a lot of positivity on Rand's ball. He's given us our team back. And I like the way we try to play football, even though it didn't quite work out that way today. Yeah. But I know, like, you know, things all go well for the future, which is good. Yeah. So I'm loving it. Like, you know, I hated Conte ball. I hated Mourinho ball. I know there's a lot of fans thought like, okay, we'll take on both these managers because they thought like that would be the way to success and winning trophies and all that. Like, I always knew it ended badly. They weren't the right fit, you know. I mean, we know the right fit was like going back for like, you know, Arthur and Nicholson, you know, to Joel, Redknapp, you know, Poch, you know, we, you know, that was different. That was where we were in a comfort zone with Spurs football. And, you know, my love for this club is just undying. I love this club with every out of my body, and I can never stop talking about this club, whether I'm talking rubbish or sense, you know what I mean? Which you'll get a mixture of both when I'm on podcasts, obviously, you know. But and what I really love, I love you guys that do these podcasts, you know, and to get other people's opinions, whether I agree with them or not, because I know they're well-intentioned opinions of Spurs fans who love this club as well. So that's why I love them all. And you can find me on Facebook here, or you can find me on Twitter here under my handle here. You know,
what's the name of your Facebook group, Adrian?
The Facebook group is like Spurs Diehards TTID. There's space You'd Army. Got about 13,200 members or something. Oh,
that's brilliant.
And I'm trying to like help out Talk and Ball, who I like as well. I'm not too regular a podcast on there, but I do go on there as well, you know, because like I like the guys on there and involved with it. Like I like you guys, like I like all guys that are well-intentioned Spurs fans, you know, without getting romantic and sentimental, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, like I've seen some of you guys before. I've seen you, obviously, still. I've seen you, Michael, obviously, on Mari and all that, like Cubed, and all that. You know, I've seen you guys. I know you like you love the club. That's all that matters to me. If you're well-intentioned, I'm there to support all those that are well-intentioned Spurs fans. So I'll leave it there without getting gushy, right?
No, lovely. Love to hear it. C Cubed.
Well, you know that I'm a Spurs fan because I only get irritated on Spurs streams. So I'm so chill when I go on rival channels. It's like, but then I come on a Spurs channel and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, can we just get the right players in? And can we just kick on for fuck's sake? I think overall, we need to back Ange. You know, I like him. I think that, you know, so far he's doing a pretty good job, but we need to recognize that it's still very early. It's half a season, and he hasn't gotten us anything yet. Vibes are really great around the club, but we need to achieve things. And by achieving things, I mean trophies. And we're not there yet. And we're not even close to it because we just got knocked out of an FA Cup. Not even like final or whatever. We got knocked out pretty early. Okay. So we have a ways to go. So I'm just not ready to be like gassing us up so much, which I feel like is happening a lot. And I just want to keep our heads level is why I'm going that route. And I'm also sick of gassing up players that I feel like are not good enough, that are at our club, or even ones that have recently left our club, very recently left our club. So I don't want to hear that stuff anymore because that's just like that they're not going to be a part of the journey that's going to actually get us to win trophies. I'm not talking about Harry Kane. I'm talking about Harry Kane's cuddle buddy. So the guy who's going to win a trophy because he's, you know, because he's his cuddle buddy, you know, and you know, you got to make your prize striker happy, you know, got to give him somebody to, you know, cuddle with. So when it gets cold, you know, because it gets really cold in Munich, you know, some nights. So anyways, that's where I leave it. But come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs. Matthew, do you know Matthew's probably one of the most sensible Spurs fans I know. I don't know why he puts up with this show that myself and the guys run, but he does. But Matt,
what about me, Skull?
I went to you. You plugged your channel. You told me you're on Instagram.
The most sensible. The most sensible.
Oh, the most sensible. No. You've got special qualities, Dan. You have special. Matthew.
No, for me, just a couple of points for me. I think there's certainly progression in our style of play. I think Big Ange has come in and certainly connected the majority of the fan base. I can certainly see an identity and what he's trying to do. He doesn't have all the players to obviously to utilize midweek, weekends, cup games, and so forth. So whenever we rotate some of the players, sometimes you can see a drop off in how we play. But I think he's doing a little bit of an adaptation as well. I think he's realizing how difficult the Premier League is. And that's only going to work in our favour for next season. I think he will be even more armed for next season. My concerns are the players that he is going to need. My concern is Daniel Levy going to give him them players? That's my concern. What I would also ask the fan base to do is to just have a little bit of faith, patience, whatever the word is, because some of these players might not be off the tip of your tongue. They may not be the obvious choice, but from what I can see in just this short period, he has an unusual way of playing. He has an unusual demands of his players. So for me personally, just trust him as best as we can. I just wanted to say to Mari on the Liverpool point, I don't necessarily agree that Liverpool will drop off, because if they follow the Brighton manual, where they keep a manager that plays a similar style, I think Liverpool will still be a force. They're obviously probably not going to be as good because Klopp is, in my opinion, top 2 managers in club football. But if they follow the Daniel Levy book, then there might be a drop off because he might go with a completely different style of manager, which is not going to suit the players that Liverpool have got. So the jury's out for me on Liverpool. I just think they're too big of a machine of winning trophies for there to be that big a drop off. I still think they're going to be competitive.
Say, think Liverpool before Klopp gets there. That company, I can't say the word, and he won despite of them because Liverpool fans, I know, Liverpool fans I know still complain about him. With Klopp, they're winning trophies. So you got to think of Liverpool before Klopp got there and how that group is after, because Liverpool's like us in a way. They don't like to spend money, and what made Klopp so great is he was able to take Liverpool to levels despite being, because people think Liverpool is like Man City and Chelsea. They're not. Liverpool is not that way. And so there was a lot of criticism of that group before Klopp came there. And that's why Liverpool fans are crying, because Klopp really changed that club.
Yeah, but that ownership has made two good decisions. One is hiring Klopp, and the other one is backing Klopp. And that's way better than Levy's ever done.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, 100%.
So it doesn't matter. I don't care what anybody says about, other things about that ownership. They made two critical decisions that were the right decisions, and one was hiring Klopp and one was backing Klopp.
And now the microscope is back on them, because now it's like, okay, don't resort back to pre-Klopp days. I agree with you, CQ. I agree with you. But the fear within the Liverpool fan base is like, the Brendan Rodgers days and previous within that group. I'm just saying that's what makes Klopp so great. I give him so much credit, even a little bit more than Pep. What Klopp had brought success for, because people's like, well, he's only won one Premier League. Well, he's had 90 points three times. And you usually win the league when you. So much props to Jurgen Klopp. But if people don't think that they're not going to take a dip after him leaving, yeah. But we'll see.
Matthew, was anything else you want to say, or were you?
No, that's it. I think they're just too well run. Sadly, to fall too far behind. I think their business model is different to Spurs for obvious reasons. They don't have Daniel Levy, so I just can't see them falling that far back to fall into the pack, and we might leapfrog them. I just can't see it. I think if you look at that forward line, I think if they just keep a similar manager, Liverpool are going to be there or thereabouts. That's it.
Fair play. Michael, you're the last.
Oh, there you are.
It's all good. Listen, like I get it when I come to these shows, and maybe for some like other fans I show too much like willingness to wait to see the process out, or however you want to call it. But yeah, I'm a younger fan, not only by age but also by like the amount of time I've supported the club, right? Because like oftentimes you boys mentioned like 24 years of failure, etc., right? And I get it. I only experienced like 5 to 6 of those, right? I'm a relatively new fan, so I guess in that sense I have a bit more patience towards the whole thing, and I would maybe encourage some people to just give this thing a chance. I know not everyone is convinced, looking by at the comments that I've had on the side of my screen, right? I know that not everyone is convinced by this whole thing, but when I look at how we play, what type of players we have, and how far we are from like actually being a healthy, good team playing like a really good style of play. I don't think we are far away. And I get it, there is reservations about the ownership. I have them too. It's listen, 5 years is enough for me to understand that there are reservations about the ownership. But I am just willing to maybe give them a chance this time. Again, I haven't been banned with Pochettino because I wasn't a fan back then, right? I haven't been banned with other managers sacked in the middle of the game or sacked, before some great success or whatever, right? So yeah, it's just the way I see things. I think I try to be reasonable with everything, and I hope I hope I am reasonable in what I'm saying, right? So yeah, I would just encourage this in this season, another season of failure, yes. But I think before the season started, I treated the season as a transitional one, right? So I am gutted that we got knocked out today, because I would like to remind everyone after 4 hours of this show that we are talking after the Manchester City. Right? It was somewhere there at the beginning of the show, but yeah, we got knocked out today. It hurts like a motherfucker. Like, we got knocked out to Fulham. It also hurt a lot, right? But I am willing to take it on the chest and just try to see this one through, right? And I'm not saying Ange is the Messiah and he's going to bring trophies, but I am willing to give this guy a chance and maybe the next guy, right? That's the patience I have in me. But I understand if like older fans or the fans that watched more of Levy don't have that patience, right? So that's the way I see it. That's it.
We love your opinions, Michael. We love you. We love you. We love Tottenham away as well. We love Tottenham away, yeah?
And can I say one more thing?
No, you can't, Maury. Shut up.
Which is the most,
no, you can't. You can't say anything, all right?
I just read
Get rid of that red shirt. Start off.
I just read D-Boy's message. Another reason, I totally forgot, I don't know why. 3 other people are leaving with Pop, which is the institution. The head of recruitment, his assistant coaches, everybody's leaving. So with their new coach, they have to almost start from scratch. There will be a regressment. So I don't say stuff just to say it. 4 people are leaving. I was watching the show earlier with Will and a couple of people from I Never Found, the other channel, Mo's channel. And I just remember in the report of Fabrizio, there's 4 people that are leaving. 4 important people. So there is an institutional change to Liverpool. So that's what I said. There will be regressment. They will be back.
But Murray, is there Murray?
Guys, I gotta shoot. It's like 4:20
a.m. Yeah, Michael, go for it.
It's absolutely mad. But let's speak with you all. Bye, and see you soon on other shows.
You don't lose that much influence and don't regress.
Murray, I think it's going to come down to whether Klopp has stayed on to put the foundations of the rebuild with the players he's brought in, to then have it set up so that the owners, the next team they bring in, take over the reins. Unlike Spurs, where we end the project, but we throw 10 grenades into it, blow everything up, go to hell, and there's no succession plan. Whereas I think maybe Liverpool have actually, this is planned. We're going to find out. I could be wrong.
It's not that easy. Even reunited with Ferguson, they knew Ferguson was going to leave. It's not that easy. I'm not saying that Liverpool's going to be rubbish.
I don't think anybody is saying it's going to be easy, but it is different. It is
different.
We're going to find out. We're going to find out.
It's enough different right now. Next season, it's
do you think they'll go for Alonso, who's top of the German league, with a
30-minute outro,
or someone who's more proven like an Ancelotti?
Yeah,
and Postecoglou's a Liverpool fan. I'm just saying.
No.
I'm just saying.
Ancelotti signed a new contract, so he's not leaving Real Madrid. He just signed a new contract. No, Xabi Alonso will be perfect for Liverpool. But even despite that, there is still need to step back to go forward. It's like taking one step back to go forward. So all I'm saying is that one step back is back with us, the pack, Arsenal, Tottenham. Like, it's not bad. It's still top four. It's stepping back. Because for me, I only view City and Liverpool as the two-headed monster, right? But when you have change, especially as major as a change like that, you're going to have regression. It's all part of companies. You always have change. It's not a bad thing.
Mari, lose the red shirt. Yeah, man. Lose it.
Hold on. You're making a lot of assumptions. Okay. So I think that it would be presumptuous to go the other direction and say, hey, they're going to be, able to kick on. Like, that's, we don't know what's going to happen. If they're going to regress or they're going to be able to kick on or whatever, right? But you're also making an assumption potentially of like how long, even if Levy were to, surprisingly back Ange, how long it would actually take us to get to a level that we would be able to challenge or be up there. And whether or not by that time, Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool, whoever are going to bounce back by then. So maybe next season, next season we regress, right? Or sorry, they regress. And maybe we start doing better, but our project is so new that we haven't got there yet, and then they bounce back too quickly.
Oh no, I agree with you. That's what I said. That's what I said in the beginning. I said the rest of the pack, everybody's taking their chops. Even United is like, well, you know what? Let's get our shit together. And I agree with you. Chelsea, we don't want to celebrate someone's misery, but all those clubs now, like, okay, someone.
But my point is that even Liverpool, like, even if they regress, you don't know how long it will take them to come back. Like, it might not take them that long to come back. You don't know.
You don't even have to mention that. That's what I'm saying. But I'm just saying this could be a step back. They could be back forward. We could screw up, knowing our history, and never seize the opportunity. That's what I'm saying. That now is the time we need to seize the opportunity.
Take advantage,
to take advantage of that, because Liverpool could maybe say, oh, 1 year we kind of regress with Alonso or De Zerbi, and then they get back in. That's why in regards to us, I'm just saying we need to take the opportunities, just like Arsenal's gonna be thinking the same thing, Chelsea's gonna be thinking the same thing.
Listen, guys, I have ended it.
All in the same boat.
Longest outro of all time.
Another conversation.
I just want us to seize the opportunity. I just am saying if we
Mari,
don't,
do you want us to seize an opportunity? Right now, is that what you're trying to say?
It is clear as
the opportunity to end this dream.
I'm telling you,
we get it, Mari.
I'm ready to protest. I'm ready to protest. I'm sorry, but I'm ready to.
On Monday, our podcast, we are going to talk about the FA Cup game. We're going to talk about Spurs, where we're going, and we're going to talk about Klopp. But we'll have a couple of days rest and time to approach it from a different angle. So it'll be a different type of show, but nonetheless, it'll be a good one. So make sure you tune in for that. Also, Sunday, Harry Scarf is on this channel. He wants to debate me on Levy. Tune in for that one. That's going to be interesting.
Is that tomorrow?
He's cool.
Sunday. Everybody, tune in for that, because I'll be sure. That will be box office.
Yeah.
Anytime Stell talks about Levy, it becomes box office.
Please be kind to him. Be kind.
Harry's asked for the debate. I said, okay, no problem, we'll do it. And also, just to wrap it up, my view is on this. I'm all for progress. I'm all for going in the right direction. I'm all for building projects, rebuilds. But at the end of the day, I'm coming up to 45. One trophy in 24 years. You are never going to sell it to me. You are never going to sell anything to me with that record. I'm sorry.
I've never seen a trophy in my life. Why are you complaining?
Well,
because you've got a good 50, 60, 80 years ahead of you. I'm approaching that Klopp. I'm done. I'm running out of energy. I need a break. See you later. All right, I'm getting to that point.
You've seen something, still. You've seen something.
Dan, I haven't seen us lift a European trophy. I haven't seen us win a league title.
I have.
That's not the point. At least you've seen
Adrian, you've seen, right? You know, but
I've only experienced 14 of Spurs' 17 trophies.
Cup, the Carling Cup, actually was the Carling Cup. Right. That's all I had.
I was born after the Carling Cup. I never saw that.
Right, yeah, okay. You lot had your chance to have your goodbye speech, yeah, right? So for me, I back every manager we have because I know it's not the managers. This is a club mentality. It's a club desire to win trophies. The manager can only do the best he can. But for me,
we are going to win trophies, guys. We are going to win trophies. Mark my
Adrian,
words.
I'll believe it when I see it because right now this is another cup exit, and we've gone out
and
of
I love
the
you,
Cup,
and I love
the FA
you guys
Cup at the first stages, and for me,
you guys
I'm
are brilliant.
sick
You
of
guys
seeing
are
it.
brilliant.
But on that bombshell, guys, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. Make sure you follow, like, subscribe. Dan's channel. Who else do we have? Dan E from Hotspur Hood. And if you put that picture up one more time, I will ban you from this channel. I swear on my life, I will just ban you straight back.
Disgusting.
Do you know what?
I thought Denizzi was English, but I think he's turning Brazilian.
Can I host a show with you on Sunday on a whole debate on Richarlison?
Oh God.
Do you know what? Actually, on the show on Sunday, one of the topics Harry wants to talk about is Richarlison. He actually wants to talk about Richarlison and Johnson.
For that 1 5-minute topic, send me the link.
Yeah,
I'll ask Harry. It's up to him because
as
I don't
long
want
as it's a fair, constructive critique.
Anyway, listen, guys. 24 years. Facts. All right. Where's the end button?
Great, guys. Everyone, fantastic. Great to be on with you guys. Yeah,
it was a good show. To everyone watching the show tonight,
excellent show.
Have a great weekend. Whatever you got planned, enjoy it. Don't let Spurs ruin it. And come on, you Spurs.
The first game we look for, Robbie. Tottenham away. When we got Tottenham away.